It's great.
That's all I want to do. Just go out. All right.
Yeah, I just want to go out and talk to people.
I don't care. Pet a dog, talk to random people, talk to kids. I don't care. I'll just be this I'll just be this weirdo just saying hello to everyone with a beer in my hand. That's all I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
Beer and cheese.
Well, if they got it. Yeah.
Say hello to me, you goddamn son of a bitch.
I want to buy you a drink, you kiddo. Like, oh, jeez, maybe I should.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Why does this man try to buy me booze?
Just drink this Canadian club, kid. Don't worry about it. It's 43 years old.
Alrighty. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 259, the top 10 hated characters we're supposed to like. And this is a top 10 video game character list. And it goes through a gamut of games, not just RPGs or from Japan, all kinds of popular titles throughout at least a decade or so. So I'm sure someone will know the character on one of these top 10s that you can go, oh yeah, I know why. So this is by a guy called Josh Scorcher. He's got 152,000 subs. This video came out in November last year. And this is almost 220,000 views, so it's fairly popular. And just to let you know, he also did a follow-up to this video, which was done 2 months ago. And that was called the top 10 liked characters we're supposed to hate. So I got confused. I started watching that. I was like, wait, this is not the right one. Why did this pop up? And I looked back at the voting. It was, in fact, the top 10 hated characters. So there's all kinds of characters we dislike in stories because of the villains, because that's a given. You're supposed to dislike the bad guy because he's evil and he does bad things, although you can also like them for a certain reason. This is the opposite of that. These are characters we're supposed to like because they present them as such, but we actually hate them because they just screwed up how to present them as such. So it's,
when they just come across as annoying and whiny, and just like, oh god, I wish you do die. I really wish you'd die.
Annoying is definitely can lead to hatred, yeah, because like, oh, this schmuck again. Oh god, he's gonna goof up and blow something up or whatever. A very boring trope in storytelling. Yeah, it's very annoying, and you get that a lot in Metal Gear.
It's It's one of those where it's like you deliberately failed the quick time event just to see him die once. You're like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm good with this.
I don't know why it happens in Japanese games, but with Metal Gear, it's like every game has at least one or two of those characters, and I don't know why. But
yeah,
it's weird. So anyway,
Kojima just wants you to love those characters, and if you don't, then you just don't appreciate video games.
I think it's just his attempt at comedy, because when you see Hal wet his pants the first time, like, oh, that's kind of weird. All right, he's just scared. Then you see
well, I think like MGS1 didn't have. I can't recall like a character in MGS1 that I really didn't like. Like I think fourth one was the one where I was just like, oh please get over these vampire segments. I'm like so fucking bored.
There were scenes in 2 where I was like, all right, we're not going to fight another Metal Gear Ray. Oh, we are. Oh, we're fighting another one, and it just keeps going.
That was fucking ridiculous, man. Like,
yeah.
So what you're saying is the Metal Gear Solid series is not only a perfect way to understand socialist history and get a degree on it, but also there's a lot of hated characters. Interesting.
I just want to say that I really hate Hitler. And I disapprove of what he did.
Oh, that's from Wolfenstein 3D. Yeah, I remember that. That's really bad video game character. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, he became a robot or something.
Yeah, that was dumb. I thought he was stupid. I just shot him in the face.
Yeah.
Mecha Hitler or something like that.
Mecha Hitler.
Now that I think about it, that's kind of like the inspiration for Armstrong in Revengeance. He's just this big political figure with machine parts.
Nanomachine, son.
It was so good that Trump copied his slogan.
Yeah.
I've never actually played any of the Metal Gear Solid games, and the first time I saw him was actually on a Smudcast. And like I had to be explained, this is what that character looked like. I was like, oh right, cool, okay.
Yeah. There's
Think
actually a character. There's actually a character in what was it, Peace Walker, which takes place during the '60s. His name is I kid you not. His name is Hot Coldman. I kid you not. His name is Hot Coldman, and he's a CIA agent guy, I think.
Oh yeah, isn't that the guy with the fake hand?
No, that was another guy, I think.
Okay.
Is that Cold Hot, man? Why would you call someone Hot Cold?
Because
I
you're
don't
Kojima,
know.
that's why. He gets his ideas from B movies, and then he's like, "Oh, I want this actor to be in my next game. Oh, I'm gonna call
Well,
him,
yeah.
harass him until he comes to play the character."
When you have a guy called Skullface in MGS5, like,
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, I'm like, when I was like 7, I created a character, one of my toys called Skullface, and I was like, wow, I thought about when I was 7 years old, and he's making a video game with it. I'm like,
God, they're like pissed
Yeah,
about
they
like
miss-
the plot
they
of,
miss-
like MGS5. Like I'm
mishandled
gonna
their
make a
characters
virus
so
that
bad.
kills people who speak
Yeah.
English.
Oh no.
I just, oh my god.
Like what the
Yeah.
fuck, man?
Just
Yeah.
take
They
the
mishandled that character so much.
take
Yeah.
there was a generator, a name generator from Mega Man, and they switched the names up with random other stuff, and you say, hey, we can just make names for Metal Gear games now.
Oh.
Like Revolver Ocelot or whatever. Just random names.
Hey,
with
you leave him
powers.
alone. He's a beloved character.
He is? Okay. I have no idea.
Well, I
The
don't know, I
end.
just- he's a beloved character like Winnie the Revolver.
And that stupid cat growl thing. As much as I love Metal Gear Solid 3, it is the dumbest one because there's all this campy crap. In there.
Oh, yeah.
No, the
Yeah.
fourth one is the
Yeah.
dumbest one.
Yeah.
Come on, Smud. You can't be serious.
Well, the thing is,
The
I
fourth,
love the third
fourth
one,
one is
and then it has this dumb shit, and you're like, why did you do that? It's just stupid shit. Keeps jumping up and down.
Yeah, they retcon so much in 4 because he's supposed to be like Liquid Snake's personalities imprinted on him because of the arm, and then in 4 you find out, oh no, it's all just hypnotherapy. Conditioned himself to act like that.
like, wasn't it like
What?
explained that like his father was a psychic, so like he probably
They
had some
retcon
abilities
so
from that?
much. They retcon so much.
Oh,
Okay.
I just,
Yeah.
oh,
But think
Ah.
about it, Hawk. If you play those games, you would be a socialist right now, making YouTube videos. So
yeah.
would be
It'd always
good.
be
Well,
Warhawk.
There's small mercies in the world, isn't there?
Having orange chocolate boxes behind you.
Orange.
Even when it's
Come on,
not,
Mark.
even when it's not Christmas, it's like what?
Even it's not any time because chocolate. Why do you have 3?
You have a giant stockpile.
Five. like he
Was
has
it
4
five?
boxes each video.
Oh no!
You gotta save up during
Just stop, man.
during COVID. You gotta like buy in bulk. So it's-
Tower of Babel with those chocolate boxes.
It's kind of like buying panettone for Christmas, but no one wants it. Gonna buy bread.
But it is as well. That's how stupid it is. It's just like what? It's like buying like 600 Easter eggs. You know, next year's not gonna come around quick enough. You like gotta hoard it.
Oh god.
Oh,
There was
no.
that Simpson episode where like Homer bought like those pumpkins during Halloween, and then like he said like, "Oh, I'm investing. I'm gonna keep them," and then like by January, all of them like rotted away. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm fucking broke, man."
Broke, yeah.
He failed the stock market.
Capitalism has failed us. Socialism is the way, comrade, because we can't get our pumpkins and chocolate oranges.
Oh.
Oh, dear.
Ugh.
All right.
Oh, I should
All
not
right.
have drunk. I should not have drunk 2 pints of moonshine. That's fine. It's
Anyway, this is going to take a while because we got 35 minutes to go through. We will skip through just to say because I'm sure not everyone on the panel knows these characters or cares about some of these games. That's just how it goes.
if it gets if it gets to the point where it's like only one person or no one knows what a character is, it's like, we'll just move along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair
Okay.
enough.
Let's get
We'll
going.
just skip.
Let's go.
Oh my god!
This intro is so 2010.
Kind of reminds me of
Why
Doug
is it so
Walker.
long?
Yeah, it reminds me of Doug Walker.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's too long.
yeah. This is just
Anyway. Alrighty.
I look forward to the comment section of this one.
Oh no!
it's
No!
Bunch of them
As a
already.
serious storytelling medium, it's inevitable that there are
He's just copying Nostalgia Critic.
It
Yeah.
feels that way. Yeah.
Maybe
Also-
we can find out that he was a former
simply
Channel Awesome member.
don't like. Now, to clarify, a hateable character isn't inherently bad. Many of the most iconic villains have little to no sympathetic qualities. We're supposed to hate them. The problem comes when we end up hating a character that the story presented as sympathetic or at least neutral.
Yeah, so that's a good point. You can actually like a character because he is so evil or so, bad. And that's totally cool. There's lots of reasons to like a character.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Joe Crazy, fun fact about this dude, Lily Orchard has some real hate for this guy. Lily Orchard?
Who?
It's a
He's
small
really
channel,
awesome.
makes reviews of cartoons, I think.
We covered her
Oh, right,
once,
okay.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
She is
My life is
oh yeah, she has that crazy anime character and sounds off. I think it's a trans person, so anyway.
Wow, Smudge, you managed to not narrow it down one single iota.
That is a good point. That is a very good point, yeah. But we did cover it once.
She's
We
that
said,
crazy, really weird one.
you know what?
Okay, okay.
When we do one, we say never again. And I have to remember, what the hell did we do? Oh, yeah, that person. Oh, my God, the memories are coming back. I have to stop.
No, but it's one of
It's a
those-
null flashback.
It's one of those people we never do again. Hawk looks at list. Well, that's like 200 people. It just narrow it down. Just, which one is it?
Okay. Well, yeah. Anyway, he made a good point there that he makes the distinction between actual bad characters and characters that are set up to be liked, but they're not. Anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they do questionable things that other characters never call them out on. Maybe it's because they get forgiven in a way that doesn't feel genuine. Maybe, and definitely the most prominent trait on this list, it's because their character development, if they get any, feels like a case of too little, too late. Now, make no mistake,
Whoa.
there's nothing wrong with you liking these characters. I know they have their fans. I, for the reasons you'll find out in these entries, just can't quite get into them. With that out of the way, grab your flame shields and get ready for the top 10 hated
What? Oh my
characters
God, more
that we're
text on
supposed
screen.
to like.
Oh, boy. Transition.
All right, let's talk about Kingdom Hearts.
Why do you have a worse microphone?
Oh, Final Fantasy. Sorry, they're just so simple.
Open your eyes, by the way. Open your eyes.
So is
You
that
shouldn't have your eyes closed that much.
is that a,
Hi.
He just
The
had
sun
a
is
better
shining in
microphone.
his eyes, probably. Like, you can see it, like, he's nearby, like a window or something.
yeah? I can't tell if that's a lapel mic or he's using a mic further away and he's just screaming.
He's just
I
screaming.
don't see a
That's
lapel
not.
mic.
Yeah.
No, he's just
I don't
screaming
even
from
see a
far away.
lapel.
Collar mic, whatever you want to call that thing. I can't tell what that
Oh,
is.
damn.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah. No,
Well, I'm
obviously the mic quality
His
sort of
eyes
dropped.
are open.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also he doesn't open
Take-
his eyes when he talks a lot. Apart from like this pause screen, his eyes are open, but he's like doing a really weird smile, like over the top, and his eyes are closed. And it's like, please open your eyes.
Anyway,
It's just when you
Soft
do
button,
videos like
sorry.
this, please take the effort to position your mic properly if you don't have a lapel mic.
sound quality is very important. I learned that lesson a little late when I started making videos. So yeah. Anyway.
Must meet some of your best videos had you cutting out for half an hour. It was great.
Okay.
To be fair, Final Fantasy characters tend to be all over the place in terms of opinion. Some are awesome, some aren't, most are pretty bland, and to be honest, you'll be hard-pressed to find anyone who agrees on everything.
Yeah, I think the idea of the Final Fantasy series is not to have well-developed characters in that sense until we get to around, I guess, 7. That's when it sort of started. And even that, like 8, 9, and 10, they're all questionable whether that development was any good or worthwhile, because there's so many weird stuff happenings in 7 and 8. Not so much in 9. 9 was a bit more grounded. So it's always the problem whenever you have magical or dreamlike scenarios, finding out flashbacks. That always screws things up, but it's kind of generic. Final Fantasy.
I thought like the 6th one was pretty good at
What?
stuff. Like I thought like it was doing it better than 7.
6 is my favorite, but even then I will say there's really not much to it, like in terms of characters.
Yeah.
You have the motivations of Locke and Celeste and I guess the Figaro brothers, but
generally those old RPGs are running on the 2D RPGs, especially run on characters. How do you say this? I don't want to say stereotypes, but a few basic attributes, and then you can expect a basic personality, and that's mostly what you get, because
Exactly.
Tropes, maybe?
there's not a bit. But there's not that much dialogue that really deepens them.
that's also
Like
but
look
that's
at
also,
Secret of Mana. Barely any dialogue
right.
from the characters, barely any characterization, but you get a vibe of what the characters are like.
This is the inherent problem with the original Dragon Quest on the NES. You only had that one dialogue box pop up. There was no detailed two-way communication. It was just boom, you hit the A button, then big dialogue box pop up. You get a bit more in the Super Nintendo variants, but it's roughly the same format, which is unfortunate. It's always someone says something, someone else says something. It's not someone says something, has a conversation with someone else about whatever. It's till we get to 6 and 7 they sort of start doing that. 5 and 4 are kind of even weak at that as well. It's all sort of, I don't know, Saturday morning stuff, kind of scenes, lots of magic and technology. Just there to have a good time, go on adventures, explore big giant dungeons or castles in the sky, that sort of thing. So it's not really focused on dialogue, unfortunately.
But in order to find a character for this list, we need to look at the Final Fantasy game that epitomizes this list, Final Fantasy XIII. And that character is Vanille. Vanille starts off as
has anyone actually done Final Fantasy 13 or played through any of the 13 games?
A roommate of
played
mine
through
did,
none of
but
them.
I didn't feel compelled by what I saw for some reason.
Okay, because after 10 I stopped, and 10 was the first franchise to do sequels of its own first game, and then 13 was the next. And 13 is a really mixed bag. It is like you either kind of like it or it's garbage. It's not like really, really fun. And then the latest edition is just so bad. It is so dumb. There's like time travel and fate and all this other nonsense. And you meet God or some. It's like, what the hell is this crap? So it's a hard sell in terms of storytelling. Anyway, let's go.
a normal, mysterious, bubbly girl who encourages Hope to chase after Snow, and for the most part, she's harmless. Okay, she's the upbeat weirdo who has more importance later. She's the Aerith, she's the Renoa, she's the Yuna. Okay, we get it. Well, that is until we learn her backstory. Long story short, when Vanille and her friend Fang are on a mission from their world's deity to become Ragnarok and destroy the other world Cocoon, Fang became Ragnarok and almost destroyed Cocoon, but was stopped by the goddess and they became Crystal. When they woke up 600 years later, Fang lost her
Yeah.
Okay. This is a standard Final Fantasy plot. Don't ask
Yeah, it's
questions.
not standard for
I'm,
Speed round in
Listen.
it. This is completely normal. This is Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm not asking questions. I'm just giggling at it because I'm like, okay, this is just okay.
And from what I've heard, Kingdom
More and
Hearts
more
is
things.
this times 100.
Yeah, it gets weird.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It was just a way of it. Just exploded just then, like of all this stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, cool,
Yeah,
excellent,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It was good to like leave Final Fantasy after 10.
After
We are not missing much.
after 8, everything goes. Well, 9 was the exception, but 8 is just like, oh, everyone.
That was great. Man. Like, I love 9.
9 was fun, yeah, but 8 was like, oh, everyone has amnesia? Okay. Oh, everyone was part of the same orphanage? Okay. Oh, everyone was back in time? Okay. Like, what? Like, what's going on? Everyone's in
Yeah, that
space?
was-
Everyone's the same part of the same Ragnarok. Okay.
Oh, God. Anyway, let's keep going.
Memories of their Vanille kept hers. To stop Fang becoming Ragnarok again, Vanille faked having her memories lost and decided to run away from her mission. Now, I will say that Vanille's main reasoning was because she didn't want other people to get hurt. But instead of confiding in her friend about her worries, she decides to run and lets Fang do what she wants anyway. This results in 5 people becoming Ilse, the entire purge of the New Bottom City, and pretty much the entire events of the game. And she keeps running. Throughout the entire game, she almost never owns up to her mistake or tries to fix it. She would let Saz kill her or Fang stay oblivious if it meant her own guilt isn't revealed. It took Fang bluffing and having an Eidolon come out to get her to confess. And plus, her bubbly personality really starts to get grating after the first few chapters. To be fair, Vanille on her own isn't the worst, and the game she's from doesn't really do her any favors. Plus, she starts to mature a bit towards the end of the game, and then regresses in Lightning Returns, but so does everyone, so let's not talk about that. But when you have a game where most of the cast really aren't that likable, and Vanille is considered the worst, there's a problem. And like a good portion of this list, because she's a main character, we're supposed to like her. We don't.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
That
That was fine. I
have
have nothing to say about that one. So sorry, Westcom.
Yeah, in general, yeah, I know the type of character that is used quite often in anime, and it annoys me as well, but I wouldn't go with the premise that you are supposed to like her. That's not necessarily the case with party members. There was always that annoying guy or girl in your party sometime in some games, and some are played over the top. Like she's overly this one's overly bubbly. In Xenoblade Chronicles 1, you have the Nopon Ricky, and Ricky is a complete hit or miss. Either you love him or you hate him. And this is a completely different variant of that, because that is in part a comic relief character. But this when you have the bubbly girl that keeps running, or just that kind of falls into that, because you can never really pin her down, and she does random things, and that can be very annoying and irritating.
It's always
like, here we go again.
It's always
yeah,
they always do it in Japanese anime and manga. There's the annoying plucky girl who just fumbles around. In this case, she has more plot relevance, which makes it even more annoying because she keeps running away. It's annoying stuff. I only know this from my brother, and he's the guy who played all the Japanese games. He's the Japanophile. I only know Final Fantasy 13 from Ali Hillis, who is the voice actor for Liara in Mass Effect. So that's that's it. That's all I care about. Oh, it's Liara. Yeah. She's the main character. Wow, and she's jumping around with a switchblade gun. I don't know what the frickin' hell that weapon is.
Yeah. So there's always you're not expected to like every character just because he or she's in your party. Like in Final Fantasy IX, that swamp thing, I just couldn't like from the sheer design, and it had barely any character in the first place. What is? I don't want this in my party. Go away.
The gourmand.
But there's always a character in your team or your squad or your team members and everything that you don't like, and it's
I actually liked all the Final Fantasy IX characters, even Amaranth, which I very rarely use, just because he was this classic trope of the strong, silent guy who just sought power. And he always thought that Zidane was the strong. Zidane is a thief. He's mysterious. I can't understand him. I have to watch him and learn and become stronger. It's like this really.
Yeah, he was the assassin guy, right?
Yeah, he was so like he's stronger. I don't know how he's stronger. I must learn. It's this ridiculous. Like he's in his own world, and the whole game is like doing its own thing. And he's like, I have to stop Zidane, but he's amazing. I don't know how. No. So.
Yeah, he could have used some more character development.
Oh yeah,
he came into the party pretty late game.
Yeah, it was funny. It was just like Vivi. Everyone loves Vivi.
Frogman had like more dialogue than him.
Yeah, Quinn was funny because he just wanted to make food and eat food.
Yes, that's his entire life.
Oh,
giant tongues.
That thing.
Must learn how to make good food.
Yeah, it's hilarious. He's this scary-looking toad man with a giant hat. It looks like he's a chef. And he's a monster. It's like, holy shit, what the hell? I just want to eat things. Like, okay.
Yeah. And one of my roommates back in the day, she really liked that character, and because she likes this type of weird stuff, this weird style that goes into this. Keep forgetting the name. What was his name? The Nightmare Before Christmas guy.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. Yes. Yeah. He likes this Tim Burton stuff. She likes this Tim Burton stuff, and I just that character just rubbed me so wrong. I just no.
Well, I think it was the overall art style of Final Fantasy IX that had the exaggerated heads, and people made it akin to the Gelflings in the Dark Crystal.
But that was fine with me. That was fine. I like the general style of Final Fantasy.
At first,
that's very endearing.
At first, I hated it because it was like, this is creepy. Why is everyone weird looking? And then you like the character as a character. And it's like, well, it doesn't really bother me as much, I guess. Plus, the graphics weren't that important because you're on the was it the PS2, I think?
PS2.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, wow, amazing graphics. It was fine.
Yeah, but the slightly, it's not super deformed, but it's a slightly deformed style with the proportions. This is all placed into into Final Fantasy IX being a homage to the old 2D games.
Yeah, I guess. It was a great experience. Very strange. Good music. Good pacing.
Oh, yes.
Typical storyline from Final Fantasy. A little bit better. Well done with the character. Each character had a little bit more stakes. They had a bit more involved with what they were doing. Even the weird... What the hell was his name? Rose and Steiner. That was the guy. Steiner
was awesome.
Yeah, he was good. And Rose was like just along for the ride because he loved her, or I don't remember. But they were both the same rank of knight, or I don't remember.
Was that a red woman?
She was the really powerful mini boss that kept stopping you every time, and she was part of the kingdom.
All right, yeah. That was great. I loved that.
I really
that little spiel.
Yeah, I really like Freya though. Freya was my favorite. She was always doing everything.
Yeah, that was the red woman. Yeah,
she was jumping. She was a goat woman. She was a dragoon. Goat. She was a red mage. I couldn't figure it out. Like, what is she? She does everything. She's awesome. So
goat. I thought she was a rat.
Yeah, a rat.
Oh, she was a rat. I thought she was a goat. Never mind.
Yeah, Freya was good rat.
Good rat.
Oh, rats and goats are similar.
Yeah, in every way.
Right.
Anyway, okay.
It was a Canadian goat that looks like a rat or something.
Beatrice, thank you. Did I say Rose? I meant to say Beatrice. I apologize. I was remembering that horrible game, Legend of Dragoon. So
that name clicks better.
Yeah, well, bad memories tend to crisscross. Anyway, let's keep going here. To Tim 505. Can we stop the talking on couch? It's not 2009.
It's current year, for fuck's sake. Update your stuff.
Get a chair. Anyway, Joe Crazy. Oh, this is good. He does admit that he modeled his format off of Nostalgia Critic, especially back when he first started. I had no idea. Why would you do that? I don't know, but it makes sense now.
I guess it's the you have to start somewhere thing.
Copy Nostalgia Critic?
Everyone used to copy him, though, didn't they, at one point?
Yes. Lindsay Ellis, Linkara. I won't say Spoonie. Spoonie was doing his own stuff.
But
Angry Joe, or Pissed Jose, as people call him now.
Oh. All right, let's go.
All right, guys, I have here the Devil May Cry reboot. All right, let's have a little look-see. Yow! Got myself on the edge. Oh no. It feels
compaction is
weird having to put Dante on this list because in the original Devil May Cry games, there wasn't much wrong with him. I mean, in the first couple titles, yeah, he took himself a little too
Super
seriously. He was
campy.
especially boring in DMC2. But in
That's
the third
true.
and fourth titles, he was more comic relief. He was flamboyant, irreverent, and confident, but he was never too annoying. He just had that right level of snarkiness and just had a good time with whatever he did. But then in 2013's DMC Devil May Cry, they redesigned the character completely, from his looks, to his age, to his backstory, resulting in...
You don't look a day over 12,000.
Yep, in an effort to appeal to a more Western audience, Ninja Theory decided to make Dante into... I can't mince words. They made him into a little He's cockier than fans can stomach, he's more of a womanizer, and he tries way too hard to be this hip and cool edgelord, to the point where he slurs his own lines with a snobby voice, and just look at these two back to back and you tell me what's wrong with this picture! Not to mention, even when the game's director didn't care what fans thought about his Dante, he still...
His name is Alex Jones.
I'm hypnotized by that.
Before, after.
Poor unfortunate
I
bastard.
don't know what to say.
Is this
game
before?
was
Is this before we
terrible.
put chemicals in the frogs?
Yes. Before the bomb
The
broke.
chemicals made Alex Jones white?
Yes.
Yeah, the chemicals
He got
made
Michael
him
Jackson.
white.
I guess they're trying to appeal to Americans. They would have to ask Alex Jones all the right questions.
Also,
I
I
don't,
didn't
I
like
don't
you
get
went.
this whole appealing to crap. Just do your thing, and people like these games already. Why do you have to change things?
Did you? Did
They
anyone
changed
also
a
notice
lot
that-
of stuff.
Yeah, but anyone notice that he
changed a
called
lot of
this guy the director, and then he's had to put up a not the director.
Yeah,
It's like, do you not notice? Do you not recall another line?
it says senior producer. It's right there. I don't know. It's pretty
Yeah,
obvious.
it says not the director underneath that he's added on. I'm like, did you not record another line? You know, you can't edit your own
Alex
video.
Jones Senior. Alex Jones' father.
Yeah.
Does Alex know
It's
about this?
Alex Jones' senior producer called Alex Jones. He just everyone who works for InfoWars is just Alex Jones.
All right.
went out of the way to try and show some semblance of the previous incarnation of the character in this little punk. Like he's trying to piss the fans off. I don't know which is worse. The fact that the director didn't fully commit to reinvent.
That was kind of an insult just to do that to the fans. It was like, okay, that's putting the... Was it a mop? I think it was a mop that
hair
broke.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
The
that.
character jarring seeing this new guy attempt to be his much better predecessor is. I get why you need to reboot things sometimes. I can also understand wanting to try to appeal to a Western audience, but they took it the wrong way by turning an endearing, funny protagonist into a generic grunge kid. There are a lot of ways they could have made this work, like maybe tone down Dante's attitude a smidge, or better yet, maybe actually commit to one of the early ideas of this story being a prequel and not a reboot, which would justify much of his bratty and vapid personality. The worst
Was that Virgil in the scene?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they look identical to each other except for like the hair color.
Oh.
Mm.
All right.
And I remember Dante looking at him and going, "Who the hell are you?" And I'm like, "Dude, are you kidding me? He looks just like you. He's just got different colored hair."
Okay.
part is that he's the game's central protagonist, so we're stuck watching him be an emo little punk throughout the whole story. But in a way, he's also unintentionally funny. Like, he's such a pathetic, what? Not a faith, Dad. It's impossible to take him seriously. With the right perspective, he can be ironically funny, which is why he's so low on the list. At least it's something. feisty younger brother. Must be Fire Emblem. Hello, Fire Emblem Fates. There's plenty I could say about you.
Okay, is anyone here a Fire Emblem guy? Anyone?
No.
I plan to get into it at some point.
Okay.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, Smudge, you know me. I'm a big, massive fan of his Japanese games. I play all of them. Do all? No, of course not. No.
Yeah, I only really like Three Houses just because of popularizing it on the Wii, or sorry, the Switch. So yeah, we can skip this. I don't really care.
Yeah,
Are we really like going through a lot of like Japanese games here? A bit like,
Yes.
okay, cool.
likely.
But don't worry, there's Dragon Age 2.
Oh, there were so many Fire
Oh, please
Emblem
no, please no.
that I just didn't know where to even start, so I just thought other stuff.
Oh, and to everyone in chat, sorry we skipped Fire Emblems, but honestly, get a life. Come on, guys, come on. I'm joking.
We're gonna be here for a while. There's lots to go through. So
Yeah.
I've mentioned before on this channel during my fixing
Metroid Other M.
Alex Roshan how Adam Malkovich and Samus's relationship isn't exactly handled the best. Samus, certified awesome hero of the galaxy a couple times over, takes orders from Adam as a good little soldier for no reason, even when it actively hurts her. So apparently we were supposed to see Adam as a sort of mentor / father figure to Samus. And that's why we got in Metroid Fusion. Adam does seem to be a good...
So if you guys played Metroid Fusion, great game. That was fun.
Absolutely great, yeah.
Yeah, I never tried Other M, so I don't know much about it.
Yeah, I thought the general consensus on Other M was that it doesn't exist.
Wow.
Yes, the biggest problem with Other M is that like Samus's character is like completely something that you wouldn't expect, because like this plays, I think it's exactly after Super Metroid, so the SNES game. So
Yeah.
you would expect that like Samus is like matured and like won't like have panic attacks from seeing. What's the common enemy that comes back in every game? Almost?
Ripley.
Ridley.
Yeah, Ridley.
Yeah, like Ridley, and like she's like, oh no, yeah, and, like what the hell?
It's the whole PTSD story of hers was resolved in the manga that came with Zero Mission.
Yeah, Zero. When does the manga play during time?
Yeah, and in the manga story, so she got PTSD because her when she was a little kid, her parents got slaughtered by space pirates, namely Ridley. So that was kind of a scarring moment, and that haunted her all throughout, even during her training and bringing up by the remaining Chozo. And Mother Brain, and then in the end she overcomes her PTSD and fights Ridley, and then everything is great. And so essentially after Zero Mission she doesn't have PTSD. That's the general idea.
But Zero Mission is the prequel, isn't it? Like that plays before like the first Metroid, right?
Yeah, I think that's the idea. It felt like a remake of Super Metroid.
Yeah, it was a not a watered down, but because it was made for, what was it, the DS or
Game Boy Advance?
No, the Game Boy Advance.
Wow, the Advance.
Game
Yeah,
Boy Advance, yeah.
they had to fit as much as they could on the cart, and they could only do so much. But it was still a fun game. The storytelling was okay. The story itself was fine, and it was fun. That's the main thing. Like compared to Super Metroid's the bar. Okay, it's a really high bar to hit. And if you don't have the same power as a Super Nintendo or the cart capacity, you're not going to be able to do as much. So,
yeah, but the Game Boy Advance was pretty much on that level.
it was close.
That it could handle such games.
It
It had
could
games
be.
like Golden Sun, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I know.
That was way above Super Nintendo.
Fantastic stuff.
And just half the story. After half the story, the game's over. That was so frustrating when I was a kid. And I thought, the story's starting now, and then the credits roll.
Yeah.
What are you doing to me? I still need two 2 of the 4 towers for the space magic stuff.
Right.
What are you doing to me?
So in Other M, if you guys don't remember, I haven't played it, but I do know that the main criticism is that the abilities she has as a bounty hunter are being restricted by this dude. And as a result of the plot, she decides to listen to this guy. So she's like burning in lava and like, oh, maybe I should turn on the Varia suit to help her not die. So that's
Chat seems insistent that Zero Mission is a remake of the first Metroid game on the NES.
Really?
But with an extended ending.
Huh.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Makes
the
sense.
ending you get the go around a Zero Suit Samus in the space pirate ship and get to fight Mecha Ridley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
That was fun.
Well scripted area and pretty fun.
Yeah.
You get to go stealth mode.
Yeah, and you had a stun gun.
All right.
I have Other M on the shelf behind me. I got it in that wonderful pawn shop for $2. So I thought, okay, someday maybe when I feel masochistic enough, I will try this out just to get my own impression of it. Probably this is like watching a B movie or something. But I have never yet touched it in years. It's just on my shelf. I own it, but I have never touched it.
All right. Well, let's watch a bit of this just to wrap our heads
Morbid
around his argument
curiosity.
because
Yeah.
it doesn't mean much, but okay.
Guy who cared was there, and in the manga, it was Adam who encouraged Samus to lead the Federation military in order to reach her full potential. Samus specifically states how much she trusts and respects him and how she thinks he feels the same. That iconic catchphrase?
Any objections, lady?
It was supposed to be something warm, a verbal acknowledgement of the trust they shared. Then Other M comes along and ruins everything.
You maniac! You blew it up!
In Other M, Adam is every bad military commander stereotype. He treats his troops like they're disposable dirt, expects absolute obedience, and is constantly cold and condescending to Samus. I don't know if it's just bad direction or intentional, but Adam's playful, in-jokey, any objections lady turned from something people thought fondly of to one of the most reviled phrases in gaming for a time due to how condescending it sounded coming out of his mouth. Adam is supposed to be some great military genius, yet he makes some key tactical blunders. In the game's opening, his whole team struggles to put a dent in the Brugmass, and then Adam, instead of logically assuming that there are other creatures just as bad, if not worse than the Brugmass infesting the bottle ship, orders his team to split up into smaller, easier to beat units. This order is baffling, and the issue is further compounded when cons go down, leaving the team in disorganized pieces. Did you even go to OCS, you complete and utter boot? And then we come to the biggest reason everyone grew to loathe Adam during Other M, the authorization mechanic. It would be one thing if Adam asked Samus to be mindful of her powerbomb usage. Samus has, again, saved the galaxy and proven herself capable of handling herself in combat. And based on the Metroid timeline, Samus has successfully pulled off 8 high-profile missions and who knows how many other minor missions she's done in her job as a bounty hunter. Adam knows this, so why is he treating Samus like a toddler who just found daddy's gun? Heck, because Samus deserted and Adam's not taking her in to be court-martialed, maybe Adam's asking her to be mindful of her weapons and authorizes usage of abilities so he doesn't get in trouble, and Samus agrees because she doesn't want him to get in trouble. But no, he coldly orders her not to use anything without his permission, and she goes along with it, even something purely defensive like the Varia suit. Oh, and speaking of the Varia suit, Adam, why did you let Samus roast alive? I know I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but come on! What kind of great military mind?
Yeah, he is really angry.
Yeah, he's angrily beating this dead horse to death.
It sounds forced still.
Yeah, it's we get it. You don't like Adam, okay? Just tell us why. Don't scream at us.
But the whole thing is, Adam, Other M is just other. It's not Metroid. It's something else. It's other.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that when we talk about Metroid games, like the progression, you get the hook shot. Now you can traverse further areas like you could in Zelda. It's that sort of idea, but the mechanic is controlled by the dude on the phone who's like, yeah, now you can use this thing. Okay. I was like, oh, thanks. Yeah, it's that sort of annoying thing, which is, I don't even know if that's an argument to be made about how a game mechanic should even work.
Yeah, and Nintendo doesn't want to screw up on Metroid Prime 4 so much because of things like this that they scrapped the whole game development process they had and started from scratch, I think, last year.
Really?
Which set a lot of fans back, but was also appreciated for the very same reasons. The fans understand, yeah, okay, you're taking the time to make a good game. That's great. And when the developer says it themselves said it doesn't feel like currently it doesn't feel like what a Metroid game should feel like. I think that's a good message that they scrap it for that reason and start over.
Yeah, I mean, Prime is perhaps the highest to me is in terms of development, what they can do with technology with the GameCube and what they achieve with level design. I thought that was one of the best games. And Metroid has always been a good series. So when you have games like Other M, which is sort of, it's a blemish, but there's so many other good Metroid games, it's okay. Like everything else has been excellent.
And even if you don't want to take the time to play the Metroid games, get the soundtracks. The soundtracks of these games are breathtaking.
Oh, they're amazing. I remember the GUI menu system for Metroid Prime. Just booting up the game and going, whoa, that's a main menu. Holy crap! So it's cool. It's cool stuff, and they put a lot of effort into it. So I'm glad they're actually making it better. So anyway,
yeah, didn't know for sure if he could kill the Metroid. Question. What the fuck is wrong with you? You stupid!
Oh my god!
Is this Adam related to John, by the way?
John Smith?
No, Malkovich.
John Malkovich. That was the joke he made. I don't know. Anyway, we're done with Other M, so let's keep going.
Why is he switched the
Once
logo
upon a
thing?
time, I talked about how weird the ending of Soul Calibur 5 was. Wait.
Does anyone care about Soul Calibur?
Yes.
You do?
No. Yes.
All right.
Oh my god, Wish just jumped
Yes!
straight in there like, yeah, damn fucking right I do, fucking Soul Calibur! Punches Mark in the face. Yes! And it's just like, oh my god.
Fuck this game, because I play tech.
All right.
You don't care about Soul Calibur?
No.
No.
Not at
2
all.
was the best anyway.
2?
2.
We're at 5?
Which was the one that had Yoda in it?
Sorry?
Which was the one that had Yoda in it and Darth Vader? Because I
Oh.
like Star Wars. Yeah.
No, that was. I think that was 3 or 4. I think 4. 4 had.
Yeah.
4 had
I think the second
Vader,
one had,
Vader,
like, Lincoln.
Yoda, or the Apprentice. No, I think the Secret Apprentice was standard, and then you had either Vader or Yoda. I am not sure. And Yoda was Yoda was mean because you can't hit him with high attacks.
Well, no, that is true.
But
He's small.
you always have one special non-canon, if there is such a thing, in these games that are silly from other franchises, because the Soul Calibur games came out on different consoles, and every console had a different character. Like
yeah, because it was PS3 and 360 weren't it? With the Yoda and the Vader one.
Yeah, and I think maybe it was Soul Calibur 2, where the Dreamcast version had Link.
Oh, right.
With bombs and with bombs and bow and everything, and the PS2 version I think had Spawn.
Yeah.
I never got to try that one out.
That's a bit of a. Sorry, I'm checking it on air.
No. I think
Spawn and Link. Okay.
No, wait. No. They were not in the same game. You couldn't fight Link with Link against Spawn.
Right.
And I think I think it was the Xbox version that had Spawn, and the PS2 version had Heihachi Mishima.
They were exclusive. Yeah,
they were exclusive.
Yeah,
I remember that.
it's just one of those things which is so opposite characters. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but they're just the joke characters. They're not. They don't have anything to do with the standard roster. They're just the here's a fun character that we add because it's on this console.
Yeah, I get that, but it's like, you know, when you like picking two characters, you want them to be similar-ish, as in, like, you know, so that people don't say, oh, you're caring over one console than the other. But Spawn versus Link, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, but these characters usually don't fit within the roster anyway. They're usually unbalanced in regards to the rest. They're just there for fun.
Yeah, I know that. Sorry, carry on.
And thanks for the chat also correcting me. It's so long ago that I played these, and it's a bit confusing. My one of my roommates was very obsessed with Soul Calibur to the point that for every Soul Calibur game that came out, he had to buy a new console. That was odd, and usually he only had one or two games per console, and one was Soul Calibur.
Oh boy.
I think Soul Calibur 5, I don't think had a consistent story. That's usually the problem with these fighting games and their storylines. When you don't write a consistent storyline and the characters have their stories within that and are flowing into each other, which the current Soul Calibur 6 has, and very weak story if you ask me. Then you had the other games of Soul Calibur usually had the character you play with right now through the story mode is the story. So you have 24 different endings for the exact same story, and then it's hard to make things canonical in any way. And they played around with that and screwed it up throughout the games, and so complaining about the endings in that. I don't really remember 5, but I think 5 was still the one where they had jumbled story nonsense, and I think the creator of Soul Calibur didn't even want to make 5 or even 4. He was pressured by the producers to make another one, and you can feel it.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
he was done with the series. He didn't want to make any more.
These stories are not really to be taken as a high drama or high whatever. It's just to pad the cutscenes to make you go, oh yeah, stuff is happening. Who do we kill next? And then it just keeps going and going.
Yeah, and the 6 has this because chat is someone saying 5 had a story mode, 6 has individual stories. But the individual stories in 6, they all fit into one big timeline, so that it's a consistent story. It's one consistent story. And in previous games, it was not one consistent story, but the character you have, and in the end, ends up with an ending scene with either Soul Calibur or Soul Edge or something, and then the world ends or doesn't or whatever.
All right, let's get through this if we want. I'll probably just skip ahead.
To potential really poor execution. And who do we have to blame for the way things happened?
It was me! It was me!
Yep, that bizarre ending is all thanks to Patroclus. And believe it or not, this guy had problems even before he decided to screw with the timeline. For starters, his gameplay. So in the story, Patroclus is lectured to get a style that's not like that pale imitation of his mother's. Oh, so instead of being a pale imitation of Sophicia, he's being a pale imitation of Setsuka. Oh, nice. Trading one shadow fighter style for another. Yeah, totally not an imitation.
Because I don't remember that character.
Yeah, I don't care. This is just like, what? Who? Okay.
Because after 3 had such
God,
horrible
I
gameplay.
hate this character so much.
4 I only played a bit with my roommate, and that's probably why I missed 5 too, because it was just you noticed that the series was going down and that it felt like it didn't want to be made. And yeah, 2 is still the best one, and 6 was fun as much as I was playing it, but I was only playing the story part and then some AI battles. I haven't gotten to the other game modes yet. I never felt like it.
All right, let's keep going.
All right.
All our favorite established characters, most of which don't even appear in Soul Calibur 5, and they all copped out happily ever after. Really, the only good thing about him is that he erased himself from his own franchise.
Yeah, but that's a common thing. You have a lot of characters that don't return in the next game.
Anymore.
Not every new character in a fighting game makes it into the next installment when they turn out to not be liked by the fans in the first place.
Yep.
Like in Soul Calibur 2, Talem came into the game and stayed. Many people liked her, but she was misdesigned in 3. And I didn't expect what was his name? Not Zoa Melgusta. The guy with the scythe. I didn't expect him to make a return in later games, but apparently, because he seemed very overpowered for the story purposes, but he's an overarching story character now, and so with some other characters. So, but not everyone makes it, and I don't remember all of them that didn't.
All right, let's go.
What are friends for? I'm sure most of you have heard or read this phrase at least once. Usually it's done after someone has helped out in some way. However, if you ask this question to one Chloe Price, you'd probably get a slightly infuriating take. Chloe is the best friend and potential love interest of Max, the protagonist of Life is Strange. I say best friend in quotation marks because these two haven't seen each other in 5 years. Their reunion dashed when Chloe gets shot by a drug-addled boy. Luckily for Chloe, Max has the power to rewind time, and she does so to save Chloe's life. However, well, this isn't the last time Chloe ends up dead. At this point, I'm really talking about things that happened to Chloe to make her the allegorical albatross around Max's neck. What is this shining beacon of humanity like as a person that makes Max want to save her so much? She's freaking awful! Chloe feels like some amalgamation of every terrible, emotionally manipulative girlfriend you've ever heard of. There's no nice way to say this. Chloe is a leech in every sense of the word, except actually being a small worm. She demands all of Max's attention like a spoiled child. She does whatever she wants and to hell with the consequences. She encourages Max to break the law on multiple occasions and is emotionally abusive to Max constantly. When Max's time power starts showing
she's a great example of a cluster B personality
disorder. Brain damage of some sort. Chloe yells at Max and tells her to basically suck it up, Buttercup. Oh yeah, did I mention she murders the man and gets away with it? All of this would be fine
and the dog.
If Chloe was an
I agree with this 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
this is
I
the
always
best part,
wondered.
really.
I always wondered: is anyone supposed to like this character?
Well,
yes,
the players are supposed to like. Yes,
when you have a story written by Frenchmen and they're trying to emulate girls in California, I think you know you've hit gold.
So all girls in California have borderline personality disorder.
Yes. Anyway, moving swiftly.
It would explain a lot, but girls with borderline personality disorder are not likable by definition. They're manipulative by
definition. Birds fly, fish swim, Californian girls have borderline personality disorder. It's always simple.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, but that's not a likable character. And I think the only people who can like her are girls with borderline personality disorder that identify with her.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
What a wonderful audience you're pandering to.
Yay, Max. Yay.
Games for the mentally deranged.
By people who didn't even play the game but watched other people play the game.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, he got this one good. Maybe higher in the list, perhaps, but still pretty good. Yeah.
Number one.
Away from the
This
good
is number
path with
5,
an
isn't
appropriate
it? So,
bad end for a choose-your-own-adventure type story like Life is Strange. If Chloe was the Chara to Max's Frisk, but remember the title of this video? We're somehow supposed to like this girl and want her and Max to get together, whether as friends or as lovers. But this train doesn't end here. Oh no, it somehow gets worse. Now, you may feel a bit sympathetic towards Chloe because her father died, she didn't have her best friend around to help her get through it constructively, and her stepfather wasn't much help. She can also die a potential 6 times in the story. However, I like to point something out.
I see all of those as
It
wins.
is Chloe's fault she dies. Let's count the ways, shall we? 1, she threatens a guy with a gun and gets shot for it. 2, she steals such man's gun and shoots it recklessly, resulting in a bullet ricocheting and killing her. 3, Max down on active train tracks. While Chloe gets trapped in the train tracks somehow, it's her fault for being there in the first place. Never mind that Chloe should be able to take her boot and free herself to begin with. 4, in an alternate timeline where Chloe might have actually been a decent person, she actively asks Max to euthanize her. 5, shot deciding to snoop around the lair of a suspected murderer without backup. This isn't Scooby-Doo! Call the cops! 6, in the supreme moment of too little too late, with the whole Arcadia Bay already dead to the storm, Chloe tries to convince Max to rewind time and let her die in the bathroom. Given Chloe has been conditioning Max to be obsessed with her the whole game, it's not surprising that Max declares over and over that all she cares about is Chloe.
Chloe, would it kill you to stop dying?
And I don't even think I'm doing full justice to what a
My whole take on that game is, and this is purely my way to cope with the existence of this nonsense. Is that Chloe made everything up and it was just coping, and she was all the time she was just in the bathroom and couldn't deal with the fact that Max had been shot and was making up this whole story about the future and all these magical powers, but in reality nothing ever happened, nothing ever changed.
I guess the ending for that option is to rewind everything and make it so as if she actually did die, making the entire game pointless.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the only sensible option. Because sacrificing the town for this insane asshole?
The only sensible option is not to play.
yeah, kind of that.
And the ending's exactly the same if you do.
That's the thing I never got with this game. It's like, you choose to sacrifice the town. They're like, okay, everybody dies. It's like, wait, everybody dies? Nobody makes it out of the town? Are you kidding me? Like, every single person died. Okay, all right.
Well, I think the comics retcon that. But they choose the option that destroys the town as the canon ending.
When you see the giant tornado, I don't know what that is. It's basically a tornado, but it is massive. Like, it's on the horizon. You're like, okay. That is gigantic. That's just going to eviscerate everything. Like, oh, we should probably stop that. That's going to cause massive destruction across the state. And you have the option to not.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is because Max stopped time, rewound it, and saved Chloe's life.
It's
this
assumed,
is why it's happening.
It's assumed throughout the rest of the timeline she's doing it over and over again, like multiple switches and changes.
Right, but
so that's what's generating this massive whirlwind. So funny stuff, weird, crazy things. I don't know how you live with that problem where you just keep using your ability and this massive tornado keeps popping up behind you. But French authors, what are you gonna do? All right.
Who's typing right now?
I have no idea.
Sorry, I didn't switch off the mic.
Okay, good. I was like, what's going on? Not me.
Angry typing. We're just trying to hack the internet.
I was just like, War and Peace is being written somewhere here. Because it's just...
All right, let's get some super chats going and back to the video. 2Tim505, throw it in a fire. I think you're referring to Other M. That was the other thing we talked about. And Ron Harushin, damn, how long it's been since I've seen Josh Scorcher. Didn't know he grew a beard. I have no idea who this guy is. So, you know what? So long as he's doing good stuff like this video, I don't mind. So, aside from the jokes, those are kind of weird.
Yeah, the jokes are pretty flat. I mean, I laugh more at teenage girl dying 6 times in his actual jokes. So it's...
Yeah, that scene in the junk, whatever you call that garbage dump, where she just takes random shots. That is hilarious. It is so funny. I couldn't believe a ricochet shot her. I'm like, what? Okay. A ricochet doesn't bounce straight back,
Especially at the shooter.
Yeah, I know. That's just like how? There's no.
Like the universe is actively trying to kill her.
Trying to kill you. Yeah, it's just like, oh my God.
If you look at a shooting range, a shooting range usually has the targets pointed slightly down, so they go into the dirt when the bullets defragment. So it's just funny how all these things operate. You just watch her die. Like, okay.
It's hilarious.
Oh dear, that was great.
And that whole scene is predicated on she's asking you to go find bottles in this garbage dump, and there's 5 or 6 bottles you have to go find. It takes so long. It's like, oh my God, are you serious? Just to do some target practice?
That's like the one thing everybody hates the most, aside from Chloe. I think that's like the thing everybody hates most about that game is finding the bottles.
And then right after that's the scene where you have to stop. You have to save her from getting her boot stuck in the goddamn tracks. Like, it's just crap after crap after crap. It's like so annoying, this whole scene. And I saw LitDev play through that, and I was like, oh my, this can't be real. This is boring, unfun, and cringeworthy. And you just want to watch Chloe die, and you're like, just end it.
Just die.
And he did. He just rewound time just to make it happen again and again and again.
Yep.
You have to turn into MacGyver to stop the goddamn track from switching properly, and then hotwire it. And,
really?
Oh God, it's so annoying. Anyway.
This game just sounds terrible.
She shoots a dog, for crying out loud. There are a host of incidents that make my...
Oh yeah, that's right. She does shoot a dog.
So she actually shoots a dog?
Yeah.
Well, it was charging at her.
She can die then. That's fine. Every train hits her.
Yeah, but you can rewind time and change that outcome.
Is the game trying to psychologically abuse you into becoming a psychopath yourself? Is this game some CIA psyop to train people to abandon their compassion?
Calm down, Tabernacle. Calm down. It's not a CIA plot.
Now that you think about it, I don't think she's supposed to be likable. I really don't. And I guess there are some elements to her backstory in that alternate dimension where it's like, oh, she's had this horrible bedridden life, and you feel sorry for that version of Chloe because she's just a husk. She's just laying there. So I can get that, but the rest of her is just like completely unattractive. So I'm not even sure she should be on this list, but because the ending allows you to save her.
Is he like saying that because the game gives you so many chances to save her that you're meant to find her likable to save her? Is that what he's trying to say? No.
I think he actually dislikes her, even though the game has all these opportunities. Like every time you screw up, you just rewind what you did. Oh. And try another route.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's nothing too. I can't even think of one redeemable thing about Chloe.
She's got a nice hat.
I don't know. She feels like she's a cancer patient, always wearing this beanie around. And I was like, "What is like? It's summertime. Why is your hair
supposed to be punk?
Why is her hair blue? Why does she have all these tattoos? Why is she always rebelling against something? Why is she always smoking pot? What is wrong?
She is the absolute amalgamation of everything that you find with girls that have issues.
And they gave her DLC.
And hate themselves and therefore hate the world. Yeah, probably daddy issues, and maybe she has hair pattern baldness. Who knows?
Can I just say,
daddy issues because
they built her out of other angsty people.
Smud, she wears a beanie hat is she some sort of cancer patient? How do you make those two connections?
Well, usually if you're taking chemotherapy, you want to.
Yeah, I know that they wear hats, but
Or she's Tim Pool.
Oh, she's
yeah, people who wear beanie hats are either Tim Pool or cancer patients. It's either either. You can't pick.
I don't know. Have you seen people wear beanies in summertime? I guess it's a thing.
In Oregon.
Yeah. I have a beanie hat that I wear.
Okay.
Oh god, I got cancer. Oh no.
Haha, Joe crazy. Come on, Spud. She isn't like other girls. I know. But she gets her own DLC, which it doesn't make sense. Like, I really dislike this character. You get to play as her. And she's like an actor or something. She's trying to be an actor.
God, that's like getting a Jacob Taylor DLC. Jesus
oh my
Christ.
God.
Oof.
That's a sad idea. And they gave Jacob his own video game before that for no reason.
Yeah, I played that once, and after I deleted it from my Xbox,
here's Francis Bordacopola. Thank you, sir. If Chloe was nice and looked at for Max, I think I'd understand at least a little why she might save Chloe, but Chloe is awful to Max, and they're supposed to be friends. Yeah. Max is just...
Well, they're supposed to be lovers at some point.
It's called an abusive relationship.
You can choose for them to be lovers. You can choose for them to be lovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also like if you can't even think of them being friends, how the hell can you think of them being lovers? It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, John Doe, the average Joe. Chloe, I shot myself. It's very complicated. Yeah.
When you have friends like Max, you don't need. Is it well? Oh, Chloe. Oh God, I'm confused now.
Friends like Chloe,
blue haired
enemies.
My God.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
When you have friends like that, you don't need abusers anymore.
Well, there are actual like bad characters who learn more than Chloe do throughout the story, which I found interesting. Like those prissy.
Well, to be honest with you, Chloe can shoot herself with a ricochet, so she's not going to learn much. She's pretty stupid, so it's.
They're laying down on active train tracks.
Yeah.
I think this was the game design idea. Let's make the most unlikable character you have to keep saving. So that when you get to the end, you're like, oh, I guess I got to save you again. And you have that one opportunity to save her. You're like, no, you are dying. I'm done with you.
No, I don't think I will.
You're just standing there watching this going, I want to see how this plays out.
Oh, you're bleeding. Wow, look at that. That's awesome. Okay.
Oh, you're bleeding. Anyway, my sandwich is about to be done under the toaster. Do you want anything while I'm just waiting?
Oh God. She's such a bitch.
Yeah. All right. Let's.
I hate teenage girls. Anyway,
let's go.
Case for me, but I'll stop here for the sake of time. We have others on this list who are somehow even worse. Oh boy, I'd be swarmed in the comments if I didn't bring this up. Ask any Metal Gear Solid fan who their least favorite character is, and there's a 50-50 chance you'll hear Rosemary or Raiden's name from Metal Gear Solid 2 at least once or twice.
Okay, so there's plenty of characters in Metal Gear Solid. I would say villains as well that are unlikable. Not because they're villains, just because they're just annoying. And it's throughout the entire series. There's always one in each game. So Rose is not...
Haven't we done a Metal Gear Solid character?
No.
In this list?
Not yet.
No, we talked about it before the stream start.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Carry on.
All right. Sorry. I got a donation. Thank you. Francis Bordacopola, thank you. It seems so many pieces of media meant for young people, Life is Strange, She-Ra, and Steven Universe, that pride themselves on gay relationships all show those relationships with abusive elements. It's ironically super homophobic.
It's also ironically accurate because these relationships are the most with the most abuse in them.
Yeah, that's the
unfortunately
thing I wanted to mention about that. And they write it like that because they write reflections of their own experiences and their own relationships. And I believe most often the producers, or producers, writers, whatever, is relevant. The creators of these SJW cartoons are the abusive elements in their relationships, not the abused ones. And I see nothing wrong with that, because they just lack that kind of empathy, that kind of conscience. So that they don't actually notice what they are creating.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it's
Here is
just one of those things.
here's Ron Harushan. Gets killed 6 times, all 6 being her own fault. I guess life is pretty strange, huh?
Sounds like life wants to tell you that you should die.
The title "Life is Strange" probably isn't the best way to characterize this experience. Yes, it is strange.
Life is obnoxious.
What the hell would you title this as, though? I'm trying.
Life is painful.
Life is tornado-y. About that.
Time traveling Max. I don't know. It's a weird experience.
Big black wobbly thing that kills towns. Big video game.
Gosh, Chloe's a bitch.
Yeah. Chloe the bitch. The game. Yeah.
Die, Chloe, die.
Chloe, no.
Yeah, that'd be more accurate because she keeps dying.
Yeah.
Like, oh, jeez, I gotta.
Only problem is if you sold it in Germany, it'd be called the Chloe the. So.
Anyway, back to Rosemary.
However, I'd argue that as the franchise moved forward, Raiden actually got better over time. Rose, on the other hand, faded into obscurity with each passing title.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay, Monty Python.
But many outside the
Natural good
fandom may be
comedy.
asking, why? Why so much hate for a protagonist's fiancé? Well, at first, he just seems like a nagging girlfriend who keeps bothering him while he's in the middle of a mission. Constantly. It blows my mind that she is not more hated than
Hold on. Just pause.
I have to pause because like in MGS too, like there was like the problem that like it was the AI as well.
Right.
So it was confusing, like was it Rose or not?
This is the inherent problem with Metal Gear Solid 2 because it gets so screwed up about halfway through and you're like, what is happening?
Yeah, like voice real and voice not.
Yeah. So part of it is the AI, but then you realize it's always been the AI the entire time. And you're like, what? This whole thing has been AI? So Rosemary wasn't really Rosemary, but the AI is so accurate anyway that they memorize dates and stuff, and she nags you about, Jack, do you remember what tomorrow is? And Jack's like, Rose, I'm a bit busy.
Oh, God.
It's our anniversary.
I started having a Vietnam flashback when you said that, Smud.
As long as like she didn't message him like at 3 o'clock in the morning and talk about curtains, I think she's all right. To be honest,
that is your PTSD, got that.
Well, we don't know that.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah, or it's, you want to build some IKEA furniture? It's like, no, I'm fine. I got a mission to do.
Yeah.
That's just.
Here's Road Harushan's version of Life is Strange. The consequences of a dumb twit's actions.
Consequences of a dumb twit's.
There we go.
Yeah, I like that one.
I would say that's somewhat accurate. Yeah.
Money.
Life
has consequences. Yeah.
Actually, I just thought of the suicide. It was a real suicide in Life is Strange. I think it actually occurred, and I compared that to Persona 5's attempted suicide, and how much impact that had on the story, and one of your characters, and how Chloe doesn't give a damn.
Well, from the sounds of it, Chloe don't give a damn about anything.
Yeah,
from blue hair dye and beanie hats.
The 2 or 3 girls who bullied that girl, they cared a lot. They actually responded really negatively because they realized the effects of their actions, but Chloe doesn't. So anyway,
Chloe doesn't give a shit.
Let's go.
But make the argument that this is just harmless romance. Or is it? It turns out, and I finally get to use this meme, that Rosemary is a spy. In reality, she's working for the Patriots and was ordered to stage a fake romance to keep an eye on Raiden, and all those calls about tomorrow were baiting him to keep moving forward on a fake mission with the promise of a happy life. Okay, yeah, that's just cruel. I can be convinced to overlook the constant calls, but stringing someone along and playing with their feelings and expecting them to be okay with it later? No, but apparently she ended up falling for him anyway and actually tries to make him see reality, which is admirable, I guess.
Okay, so if you don't know, Metal Gear Solid 2's Jack, or Raiden, he, how do I describe this? He's like a child soldier that was psychologically influenced to become a killing machine, I think.
Yeah, his parents were murdered in front of him by Aldous, who was ironically the United States president at one point in the game. And he's also the clone of Big Boss, Snake.
Oh, God, yeah.
And he treats Raiden like a son.
Oh,
He's
no.
like, you're like a son to me.
And he has those stupid tentacles, octopus bullshit. Like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, something. Every time someone mentions what like Metal Gear Solid's actually like, you know what? I 100% agree with Cavankle. It's so much like socialism. Unbelievable. It's so much. Tentacle things, child soldiers, president of the United States murdering people. Oh yeah.
The best part about like Metal Gear Solid, like hilariously, is that like 1, 2 is like you are pretty much the villain, because like the people that you fight against are actually like fighting against like the shadow government, or like a unit that is turned out to be just an AI of like those leaders that were like controlling everything. So essentially they were trying to like eradicate that shit, but like in their own awful way.
And not to mention it, they're trying to bring down the Patriots, which is the AI program that's controlling the world.
They're trying to take down the patriarchy?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Anyway. All right.
No.
Metal Gear Solid. Here's Francis Borticopolo again. Francis, Metal Gear Solid 2 is what happens when Kojima isn't reined in. It really was a warning sign for Death Stranding. You know what? MGS2 was the thing he didn't want to do, and then once he finished it, I don't want to do any more. And you sat there.
Every time he says that.
Yeah, he did that every time, and it was like, dude, just make a good game. Yes, the gameplay's there, but everything else is messed up. It is so dumb.
And then people tell him to make a movie, and then he makes Death Stranding.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4 was his first attempt at making a movie.
Yes. I watched that 10-hour clip on YouTube.
10-hour clip on YouTube.
Yeah, they took all the cutscenes. All the cutscenes.
Yes.
Oh.
It's 10, 11 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay for a Japanese game.
No.
10 hours? 10 hours?
Mark's like, no.
No, 10 hours is normal for
No.
a Japanese
Fucking no.
big Japanese game.
I don't
You
remember
play
Mario
a Japanese
having
game
10
like Chrono Trigger, and like it's not, none of the dialogue is fucking waste or filler. You actually enjoy the thing, and it blends in with the gameplay. While you
I didn't say it makes. I didn't say it's all good, but the amount, the sheer amount, without regards to quality, just the quantity, that's a normal thing.
Yeah, but that's all right. But the gameplay was only 15 minutes. That's the major problem.
Oh boy.
It's like, 10 hours.
You watch like a boss fights, like old boss fights in MGS4, and like you see that it's like not even like half the length of like the cutscenes. Then you're just like thinking like, what the hell is going on here?
A lot of those.
That's by the way, there's a really great and probably the only really fair review of Death Stranding on Matthew Matos's channel, and you laugh your ass off how he starts that off. It's brilliant because he figured out what genre that game actually is. And I'm not going to spoil it.
All right. All right, let's keep going. John Doe, the average Joe. Abby versus Chloe. Who will win? I'm leaning with golf.
That's obvious. No. Abby will not win. Chloe will accidentally kill herself while attempting to attack Abby.
Oh.
Yeah, she shoots at Abby.
Ricochets off her head.
No,
Ricochets back.
No, it's like she shoots at Abby. The bullet hits the golf club and shoots straight back at her and kills.
No, the ball gets reflected and knocks her in the head.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
They're two terrible characters, and I don't like talking about them.
Here's 210505, the memes, Jack, the memes.
Yeah.
Oh god. Don't make me remember that game. It was so bizarre and just crazy. I don't want to think about it. Here is Francis Ford Coppola. Thank you.
Yeah.
Typical, the German coming to Japan's defense.
I am all for that.
Wow.
That was good.
Wow.
I liked it.
That's awardism.
Yeah.
Hey, Japan just asked Germany for help with the whole.
Oh yeah, don't worry. What's in
the whole
Britain?
issues down there.
We saw that. We saw that. Yeah, don't worry. We're keeping an eye.
Hey, my fellow Aryans.
Oh no! You're free to join this time.
It's happening
No,
again.
Let's just have a big party.
It's happening
Yeah,
again.
you just have a big party in Poland. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Like you always.
No. It's about the other issues down there in Asia, and India's going to be part of the party too. So it's all very jolly. We have good food.
Is Italy going to be part of the party as well?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that yet, but everybody's making jokes.
It's Italy, Germany, Japan sign a deal. Britain and America. Suspicious, like looking over it. Just,
Good lord.
We'll probably be late to the party again.
yeah. France has already accepted their new German, Italian, Japanese overlords.
So the whole thing with MGS2 was the influence of information and who knows what and what does stuff mean, and that's when we talk about memes. That's if you want to really go through MGS2 and find the ending. That's the ending message. Memes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was about like the control of information. You know, it was like made like I think like just after during 2001.
Yeah. So they wanted to talk about genetics in the first game, and the second game was memetics or memes. But yeah, then the whole thing with 9/11 happened and all that jazz. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's
and a blood-sucking vampire.
That's the least of it. That's the sane part.
Yeah. Oh, fun fact. Vamp, the character Vamp, was originally supposed to be a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do with that what you will.
His mind, though.
Every character in Metal Gear Solid 2 is, I don't know if weird is the proper descriptor, but that's the beginning. Like, okay, every character in Metal Gear Solid 1.
Kojima created his own genre, pretty much.
I think the word you're looking for is every single character is just uncomfortable. That's probably the best description of it.
The fun thing with the first game is the graphics were so bad, like because obviously they didn't have much to work with, but you sort of thought you saw it as like a pantomime, this weird sort of almost a pastiche of what a military spy game would be like. But it's so crazy that you're like, why is there a giant black man running around with a Gatling gun? After he just blew up a tank.
A walking tank that has a railgun.
There's lots of things. You're like, what is happening? What's going on in this story? And then you realize, no, this is just Kojima being Kojima. You're like, oh no. So
oh dear Lord, no.
yeah, it's a messy experience. But anyway, let's try and keep going. Francis Ford Coppola, thanks again. Apparently Kojima has some Marxist leanings. Now, Marxism is very globalistic, and ironically, the MGS games are great cases for being against globalism. Okay, yeah. They are very odd when you're trying to piece together the setting, because MGS3 is like the beginning of Big Boss's enterprise, which is this mercenary Blackwater team, like before Blackwater. So, and then that's part of, was it Nicaragua? What the hell? Where would it take place again? Peace Walker?
Well, Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3 was essentially the origin story of Big Boss.
That was Russia, yeah.
It started off in Russia. It was essentially his origin story, like how he came to be the person that he is. Peace Walker was the continuation of that, and then you had Ground Zeroes. Then you had Metal Gear Solid 5.
Well, you're missing
the missing pieces. The missing piece they called it.
Yeah, there's Portable Ops, which was before Peace Walker, which was after 3. But that was like, was it Cuban or I can't remember. South America, some part of South America.
Somewhere in South America.
Yeah.
In Peace Walker.
And obviously influenced by Che Guevara and all that bullshit. And like, okay, fine, cool.
Like Venezuela, yeah.
Good enough for me. Venezuela it was. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it really plays around with the war rhetoric of the 60s and 70s. So.
Yeah.
Kojima's nuts. That's all we have to say. Anyway. Back to Jack.
Yeah.
But the fact kept it going is a little too rigmarole for my taste. And the lies don't end there. In Metal Gear Solid 4, we learned that she left him with a fake marriage and lied about having a miscarriage just to protect her son from the Patriots, and then later just comes back despite all the heartache she keeps causing Raiden. How can he believe anything this woman says after that? Look, call it cliche, but I really believe the foundations of a great relationship are built with honesty and trust. If they just had Rose learn her lesson the first time in Metal Gear Solid 2, that would have been just fine. But they had to keep that ball rolling in Metal Gear Solid 4, and I don't feel good about this woman. I keep expecting her to put a knife in my back.
Wasn't that the whole scene with Colonel Campbell and he's like getting his lunch from Rose, and are they like hooked up? Like we don't know exactly.
Yeah, she shacked up with him.
Yes, supposedly.
But it's a lie, and she's really has a son.
Yeah, she flat out tells Raiden that at the end.
Yeah, it's just so confusing.
She only hooked up with him so that he could protect her and her son. It's the only reason she was with Campbell.
And that's why... Wait, that's the scene where Raiden has to get his synthetic blood back and his arms have been lopped off and all this other shit. You're like, what?
Wow, okay.
Then he controls lightning like Yoda. Oh God, I'm remembering all this shit.
How the hell?
That one was weird.
How the hell do you go through this game and think it's a historical lesson on bloody socialism? How the hell? You got lightning people with synthetic blood and...
I will show you after the stream.
Oh God, don't show her Fortune. That is the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Fortune, yeah.
Just don't show him the 40 Metal Gear Rays you have to fight.
And at the MGS4, like they have like those like mini mechs that make cow noises.
Oh, the geckos.
Wait, what? What?
And they jump through the sky like 10 stories. It's hilarious.
Yeah, supposedly like the cow sound is like supposed to intimidate soldiers, I think.
Yes.
Something like that.
What?
Welcome to Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah. Oh God.
What the fuck?
And then there's the dancing vampire. That was fun.
Yeah. He just saw the box of water.
Weird.
Yeah, the
weird game.
Dancing vampire who can pin your shadow to the ground with a knife. In Metal Gear Solid 2.
God. Oh.
Yeah. God.
Again,
yeah, and then you find out that you find out the vampire is he's actually got really advanced nanomachines. That's how it keeps him alive. He literally gets shot in the head, and he's fine like a minute later.
It's borderline. You know when you saw that Resident Evil clip in Red Letter Media, like they're watching episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's basically that level of crazy.
The Albert. Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's the one. Anyway, Hideo Kojima, great guy.
Honestly, I feel bad because Kojima put a lot of heart into the deeper message behind Metal Gear Solid 2, but it didn't land well and people just turned on Rose. Guess there's a time and place for an artistic message, and this wasn't it.
You don't understand my vision!
That was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally a good skit.
Alright, time to talk about The Last of Us. You want me to talk about
No,
Joel?
it's not.
Well, too bad. 'cause
Uh,
he exists.
Yeah.
I originally intended to put Joel on this list, mainly
Why?
for his actions during the
Why?
original ending. More details
Why?
can be found on my top 10
fuck
worst
off.
endings video. Then The Last of Us 2 happened. The main conflict of the game is between
What the
Ellie,
fuck?
his daughter figure from the original turned hardened survivor, and Abby, the daughter of one of the scientists that
I am so
Joel
confused
killed
right now.
in the last game. Abby kills Joel as revenge, and you can see where this is going. And I love this setup. Ellie and Abby are perfectly placed in a no villain, just two people with different viewpoints plot, with part of the game even being from Ladder's perspective. We see that.
That's not quite the plot.
No.
No.
But again, I guess this guy was going to put Joel on there because he thought, yeah, but Joel stopped him getting the cure that would cure all of humanity and bring it back to. It's like, yeah, mate, you know nothing about that, so whatever. So I can understand him not understanding the setup of The Last of Us 2. But if he says Abby is a character that is hated but we're meant to like, then I 100% agree.
Yeah.
They tried everything to make him
Right.
make him
So I
make
think
her be liked.
his reasoning to get to this point was a bit weird, but he's right. So let's just go with that.
Yeah.
Abby has some genuine friendships and is willing to go to bat
Oh.
and risk a lot for them. Joel gets some consequences for
Yes, she does. They show off her lifestyle and her friends. Yes, they do look like she's having a life. It's true.
They're not genuine. They're things that happen, but they're not genuine things. It's so forced, but yeah.
It is ham-fisted, yeah, but that's kind of the obvious dig into the audience. It's like, hey guys,
Yeah.
like us, we have a life.
Look
we
at
have
this. Look
dogs
at
as
this.
friends.
Mm.
So
Throw that ball for the dog.
yeah, just keep throwing dogs in front of you. Kill the dogs when you're not Abby. Make it so that Ellie's the one who gets all the guilt, but Abby's fine. I was like, what? No, don't do that. Anyway,
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Don't call Zebra.
I see this man has graduated with the same Joel is not a beloved character bachelor's degree that Cosmonaut did. Apparently, he made another video about the worst endings, and he put The Last of Us in that list. So,
The thing with The Last of Us is that for some reason these people got into their heads that the surgery that Ellie will do will cure everything, even though it's quite clear it won't.
and they've done it before with other people that apparently also had the same thing, and they don't know.
And it's always failed.
It's such a strange thing. I'm just going to start digging in your brain again to see if we could find something new. It's like, what are you doing? What procedure? What's the logic behind that?
And now it's being remade.
It's one thing to surgically open up the skull and extract something. It's another thing just, if we do this, you're going to die. Like, what? It's weird.
It's very... It's like, brain surgery doesn't usually kill people. Otherwise it wouldn't be brain surgery.
Oh.
It's like... So you're going straight in there to kill somebody. Okay. Just hammer him over the head then. It's fine. Just...
Anyway, Joe
whack
Crazy.
it open like a coconut.
Joe Crazy. He put Joel on his top 10 evil characters list. It mostly came down to him being selfish for his reasoning. Really? Interesting. Okay. Selfish is not inherently evil.
Evil, yeah.
But it's
also it's not. Sorry, Smud, continue. Yeah.
I would say it's that whole scene is there's explanation why Joel did what he did, and considering it's also the main character, you can sort of root for him even if you don't agree. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, I'm the main character. My role is to save Ellie. It doesn't matter what the reasons are. Fine.
But but it's not the way that you know, even as a person. Everyone, I'll tell you something. Before Last of Us 2 came out, people were not saying this about the first game. They were not saying, "Oh, Joel made the wrong decision." It's only since Last of Us 2 came out and they've tried to retcon stuff that people are now saying, "Your Joel was just." It's like, well, no. It's just anyone who thinks that Ellie had going that surgery and it would save humanity is just plainly being stupid. There's no way it would work. So
Yeah, we've been over that.
Yep.
yeah.
All right.
All the reasons it wouldn't work.
And okay, the reasons why it would work, and the response is the Firefly said it would. Right. Okay. Cool. Excellent. Anything else? No. Okay.
All right.
For his actions as well. Looking at these ideas, the story almost writes itself. And somehow they screwed it up. Of course, like pretty much every character on this list, the problem comes down to execution. We're supposed to see Abby in a morally ambiguous light when she commits utterly sociopathic actions throughout the game. Most notably, taking sadistic pleasure in the attempted murder of a pregnant woman and killing a man who is going to be a father. She only stopped killing a pregnant woman because plot? But I believe the biggest...
Yeah, no, she showed the wrong
Tommy
scene.
survived that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tommy survived that.
It was what's his face?
I think she was referring to
the Asian dude. I can't remember his name. Sperm boy. I can't remember.
Oh,
Dina's ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. I still
Wong Teen or something like that.
He's so forgetful. Yeah, I have no idea. I can't remember.
Gung Ho or so. I don't know. I just
The guy who's not Joel in the advertisement.
the trailer. Yeah.
The trailer.
Dead guy.
Not
Dead
Joel.
Guy. The dead guy.
Dead Asian guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Not quite Joel. Yeah, not quite Joel.
Oh boy.
reason people seem to hate her is
Joel
how
Solo,
she kills Joel. And strangely, I kind of agree with everyone. As much as I believe Joel to be evil and wanted him to face consequences for his actions.
Oh boy.
Joel's not evil. Oh, you. I don't care.
He's acting like a father. Yeah, we've been over this.
We've been over this so many times. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
It's a silly argument.
Situation doesn't make a ton of sense. If Abby wanted revenge so badly, she could have just shot him in the face at several points. But no, in the very definition of gratuitous, she ambushes him with a bunch of her friends, tortures him in front of Ellie, and then murders him in cold blood. All after Joel saved her life. Holy shit! It's honestly disappointing because out of all the characters on this list, Abby was the closest to actually working. It's painfully clear the game was trying to pull a me and say, no one sets out to do evil. People just do what they believe is justified. I mean, in an ideal world, I would be okay with Abby since she addresses my criticism about Joel getting off the hook. Yeah, sorta. Yes, Ellie did some morally questionable things too, like killing Mel, but she was clearly not okay with it. Unlike Abby, who either doesn't care about causing suffering or actively enjoys it. Plus, Ellie ultimately took the moral high ground by deciding not to kill Abby in spite of everything.
Okay, this is that's a hard take.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
This is a ridiculous take.
This is kind of funny.
And I watched the other video. He does after this one, the top 10 liked characters that we're supposed to hate. He says, "Oh yeah, I apologize for what I said about Abby in the previous video."
Really?
That's it. That's all he really kind of. I wasn't really paying attention, but he says, "I apologize for what I said about Abby."
When he says Ellie took the moral high ground when she was halfway strangling Abby, I'm like, really? How? What was the moral high ground? She was pretty much committed to doing it. She spent this entire story doing it, or getting to this point. How is not doing the thing you're supposed to achieve a moral high ground? All because it involves killing someone. I don't get that.
Yeah, she slaughtered all of Abby's friends.
Isn't it funny that Ellie not killing Abby when it should be happening is the moral high ground, but Joel saving Ellie so she doesn't get killed is evil?
That's a hard take. I just don't get it, because if you
I think at the end of the day, I think he's a bit of an idiot when it comes to this one. I don't think he fully understands.
I think he's taking the sentiment of others because everyone reacted this way, and he understands enough just to say it, but he doesn't understand what it actually, because his arguments are bad. We know why Abby needs to die. Ellie knows why Abby needs to die. All her friends know, who are some dead as well, knows that Abby needs to die.
Abby deserves to die in this game after all she does.
Yeah.
But
her friends were kind of stupid too. Like they know what she did was wrong, but they're willing to die for her. It's like, wait, what?
After she leaves the organization that she spent her most of her life with, and you're like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if that was justifiable, it's just like, well, she's no longer part of your team, and she's fighting against you. What do you do? Anyway. Here's Skulger Thane. Oh, okay, cool. I'm imagining the ending of The Last of Us 1 where Joel makes the right decision where he just sits in the waiting room or walks into the sunset, roll credits. Oh, God. Can you imagine that?
I'm sure they'll try to do that when they remake the game.
Yeah, they will. They'll try and make
Oh, in the
it'll be like an alternate ending or something like that.
Do you mean in the show, or are they doing a remake?
They're doing a remake of the game, aren't they?
Really?
You didn't hear about that, Spud?
I thought it was the TV show they were casting for.
No, they announced the remake of the first game.
Oh, God.
Yeah, make a remake of it.
Oh, God, why? It's perfect. It's perfect.
Oh, wait, where did you go after Last of Us 2? Where did you go with that?
It's a very good-looking game for its time. I don't think it needs much of a change in terms of graphics. Sound, music is fine.
It doesn't matter. It needs a change in the plot.
Oh, really?
To make it fit
their narrative.
They're changing the plot? No way. They can't change the plot. That'd screw everything up.
There was even like a game between like 1 and 2, I think.
DLC, not DLC.
I can imagine them trying to rewrite Joel as some asshole.
Yeah, that's likely.
That doesn't seem likely. I don't. If it's just a remake, it makes sense just for the sake of it, but not story-wise. No, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay.
I don't know the details yet of what they're going to change.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I can't see them doing it. 2tim505. Saving loved ones is how evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the justifiable cause of a father getting retribution for their dead child or protecting their child? It's like that is a universal understand. Like everyone should understand and clue into that. It's like, yeah, Joel makes sense. Joel, what he's doing makes perfect sense. It's still kind of crazy and violent, but yeah, we get it. Makes sense. And to call that evil is like, yes, but it's justifiable.
Oh, it's not even that. It's more he's calling it evil on the thing that people he obviously follows have said it's evil. So he's just saying it's evil because that's what they say. I feel like he's got no context. I just feel he's just saying it because other people
depends on the argument, but still it makes like I want things to be justified or explained well. Mm-hmm. That's it in stories. That's all you need.
But the thing is, Joel's actions is not. You cannot call his actions evil in any reality. What Joel does being evil.
If they take it from the surface level, meaning he's just killing a lot more people than Ellie's life, you can make a simple a calculus statement like that. You can do that, but that eliminates all the characterization we've learned of Joel throughout the entire story. And the relationship.
But at the end of the day as well, you can't say what Joel does is evil and then say about Abby and all this sort of, it's like, no. You can't say one's evil and one's...
Yeah, but think of it like this. Moral. Imagine 3 guys just broke into your house and they're about to kill you, and you also have a gun. And you manage to kill all 3 guys. And, I don't know, maybe the parents or the loved ones of those 3 people come and sue you on criminal charges. Mm-hmm. And they'll be like, well, you killed 3 guys, but it's like, yeah, I was defending myself. We have laws for that. Yeah. That's fine. But there's an argument to be made for those other people, of course. So
yeah, there actually have been like, I actually saw like a news story like a couple of years ago where a Good Samaritan shot a robber in a convenience store robbery, and the family of the robber tried to sue the Good Samaritan. They're saying like, oh, wow. he could have just walked out of the store. Why did he have to kill him?
Or the shoot in the leg response. Don't put them down. Just shoot them in the leg or shoot them in the arm. Just hurt them.
But don't shoot them in the leg because that's one of the worst places to shoot people.
Hey, you got arteries in there.
There's a major artery in your leg.
Yeah, you could destroy their femur. You could kill them. They're gonna die.
Bleed to death.
Yeah, there's so many things.
bleed to death. And it's also like. If people get shoot them in the shoulder, there's also an artery there. That's really bad. to hit.
Anyone who's trained with a gun, you always shoot for center of mass.
The largest center of mass, yeah.
So that's
Yep.
standard training.
The thing is, a bullet's designed to do as much damage as possible wherever it is.
Well, depending depending on the bullet. A lot of bullets are illegal because they do way more damage than they should. So.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So when people say, "Oh, just shoot them," it's like, no. When you shoot, it's going to cause some. There's no, nice way to shoot somebody. It's.
And for police bullets, it's they can't use the ones that do the least damage when they use live rounds, because those are meant to stop people. And if they would just go through you like something armor piercing, you would just have a hole in you, but it wouldn't stop you.
Right. So hollow points are the ones that are legal because they ricochet. It's called kinetics. So they bounce off bone and shatter it while it bounces. Like if you shoot someone in the head, the hollow point is just weak enough, whatever tip of that thing is. So
hollow points are designed to cause tissue damage.
Right. They penetrate the skull, but after that, they don't have an exit. They just keep bouncing around. So they will eliminate that person instantly. There's no...
And I don't know about where you're at, but hollow points aren't illegal. I mean, I have like a couple boxes of them, and I bought them at the local gun store.
I guess in Canada, I know very little about guns compared to the rest of the world. So.
Well, yeah, I don't know where. I know hollow points are illegal in the military because, like I said, they cause tissue damage, and that was like going back like to 1800s, I believe.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, the Germans were against hollow points. But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. All right.
Standard military tactics.
Let's keep going. John Doe, the Average Joe, remake theory. You play as Abby fighting Joel. Okay. In the first game?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to try to twist the narrative where Joel is the bad guy. They're going to try to make you hate him.
I don't know. That sounds over the top.
I'm betting on it.
Positive
betting
in the remake of The Last of Us, all I can see is probably Joel getting killed by Winnie the Pooh, a truly beloved character.
Or Paddington Bear.
Or Paddington Bear.
Or
a bear of some sort.
The two of them just
Paddington, no!
Oh, please. All right.
Getting jumped by Paddington and Winnie the Pooh while Yogi Bear's looking around the corner making sure there's no cops.
All right.
Hey, boo-boo, keep a lookout for these police cars.
Here's Fritz Villagine II. Thank you. There are people who think that Ellie not killing Abby is good and that we're just salty that Joel died. Josh may be one of them, but he is definitely a spineless man. Also, why is it okay for Abby to get away with killing Ellie's dad and not vice versa? See, we see both storylines, not only in the first game, but in the second game. We see the perspective of every character, and we can justify each of their actions, but we can also characterize them appropriately as what they are. And Abby is one of those characters that is not to be liked, intentionally not to be liked. And then they intentionally wanted you to like her it's like digging the hole and then filling the hole with candy. It's like, oh, you dug yourself so deep, but here's some delicious candy. It's like, I'm in a hole. I don't need candy. I need to get out of this hole. No, here's some ice cream.
A ladder or a rope.
Here's some puppies. Aren't puppies cute? Yeah, puppies are cute. I still in a hole. I still hate Abby. It's not working.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, throw a ball for a dog. No, throw a ladder down or some rope, something.
Yeah.
That analogy hits home a lot right now.
Are you in a hole, Wisp? Are you okay?
Yes, I am in a hole.
Okay.
I want to get out, but people just throw puppies down here. What the fuck? What am I supposed to do with that? I can't even go walk them because I'm in a hole. That's animal abuse.
I'm now stuck down with 2 fucking puppies. Great, cheers, thanks.
All right.
Oh dear me.
Let's go back to the food analogies. Makes me feel better. Okay. Anyway, let's go.
though she pulled a lot of people to get there. And the story has some serious issues. At the very least, I haven't seen many people defend her, other than the contrarians and radical social justice types who say that people only hate her because she's muscular and they can't take it. LOL, masculinity's so fragile.
Zarya is one of my video game crushes. Shut the up.
Okay, that was interesting.
I'm confused.
Okay.
He doesn't like the SJWs. All right, fine.
Yeah, but,
I've missed all that now.
do we need
Right.
to? No, we don't need to go over all of
Got
that.
kicked
Abby's
out of the
just
watch
an-
together.
Abby is an actual unrealistic woman.
Period.
okay.
Period. That's it.
Yeah,
we're good. We're done. we agree. Okay, let's
Yeah,
move on.
we're done with Abby.
Next
Let's-
one,
let's
number
see,
3.
Let's see the number
Okay,
2 arc.
next one. Okay, that's
Next.
okay. Yeah.
Let's see.
Warning. This segment contains a discussion of sexual assault.
Okay.
While nothing else in relation is sensitive to such material are advised to proceed with caution or stop
dude.
watching this video entirely.
Dude, one thing about this. In your intro, you have 3 light flashes. Those could consist trigger photosensitivity
robotic.
and epileptics.
Very
You
robotic.
didn't give a trigger warning for that, which is what trigger warnings are really for. These trigger warnings do not work. PTSD trigger warnings do not work. They are detrimental because the trigger warning itself triggers the PTSD. That's the stupidest idea the SJWs ever came up with.
All right. Here is Joseph Kerwin for the donation. Thank you, sir. Vaccines are easy. Find an immune person, cut out their brain, drink spinal fluid, immunity achieved. Oh.
Well, if you drink
Gross.
spinal fluid, don't you turn into a titan?
Oh, God. Let's not mix up our stories here, guys. Here's Mike Testa. Funny because he acts like the very thing he hates. Really? He just said he hates SJWs. Now he acts like them? What's his politics? I have no idea.
I find him confusing.
Yeah.
I don't really care about his politics, to be honest.
No, but if he's
I don't really
saying
care about him as a person.
if
I
he's if he's saying he dislikes SJWs but he acts like one, that's weird. How does that work? Hawk, are you okay?
Self-hatred?
I don't know. I just wanted to note this about the
All right, guys.
about this trigger warning, just because people are not aware that these things do not work and have the opposite effect, and everyone who's obsessing about them probably doesn't have the issue they claim
All
they
right.
have.
I'm going to switch over to the server just because we're having some problems. 1 second. Give me a few minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, we keep losing people.
All righty. We're now in Hong Kong. How's it going, guys?
Hong Kong.
Much better.
Much better? Okay.
Yeah.
Don't know. Everything was okay on my end, so I didn't know what was happening, but I did see you guys jump up and off.
Me and Hawk couldn't hear anything because it was robotic for everyone.
Okay. Alrighty, well, we're back. Thanks for hanging in. Thank you. Where is Hawk? Is he still around?
Yes.
Okay.
He's popping in and
There he
out.
is.
Hey, Hawk, you okay now?
Yeah, I can hear everyone now. Yeah, that's
Yeah. Now it's good.
Okay. You guys were saying that Wisp was robotic. I didn't hear anything wrong, so I was like, all right, maybe it's just you guys. And then, all right. Anyway, we're good.
Yeah, I think
we're back.
must have been something because everybody was robotic just then. So I was like, great.
Okay. That's good. Anyway, on with the show with sexual assault. Okay.
Yay.
Or skip ahead
Did someone
to this
put a
time.
hand
So,
on the
you know the
shoulder? or
one
something?
blatantly sexist trope where a female character can get away with sexual harassment and straight up abuse because they're an attractive woman and that makes it funny, while if it was a dude doing it, it would be horrifying? Well, Iris Heart from Neptunia Victory is what you get if
Oh,
you
no.
took that up to infinity
No.
and beyond.
Oh,
We're
boy.
first
We can
introduced
skip
to
this.
Iris
What?
complete-
Does anyone care
What?
about?
Not because of
Who
sexual
is he
assault.
obsessing
Please
about?
just skip this
Is
one.
Alex Halo in our chat?
Yeah, is Alex Halo?
Yeah, where's Alex Halo?
If he's not in here, I'm just gonna skip.
Whom is he obsessing about? Plutia?
Neptunia.
No,
no,
not
the-
Nep. One of the girls. Which one is he?
The girl on the right
annoyed by?
has a split personality.
Probably the one on the right.
Yeah.
No, that's the one on the left.
No. It's the
Oh, is it?
big
I
boob
don't know.
chick.
Oh no, the one on the left is a sadist.
Really?
I don't know. They all are the same. I don't know anybody.
I
Anyway.
wanna live.
No one knows
too
about this
bad
weeb
Alex
shit.
Taylor is
No one knows about this weeb shit. No, just,
Through
Okay,
Alex,
Shine.
my eyes are open, but other than that, I've never played this thing. There she is.
Man, I
have
didn't
no-
expect this one.
no,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Iris?
He's gone for a lot of.
that's-
He's got a diverse range. He's got
No, not
that.
really.
She exists for.
Not really.
No?
He's very
So he
Japanese
probably means.
oriented with his video
Does he
games.
mean Iris Heart?
Yeah, I think Iris.
Yeah, but she is. You're not necessarily
What
supposed
the
to like
fuck
her.
am I
She's just
looking
the
at here?
asshole. She's just the asshole character.
Cosmic Hawk, the
That-
less
that is-
questions you have, the better.
Oh no, Alex
Dude.
is here.
Oh God, no!
Oh, fuck's
no.
sake.
Oh,
man.
Lord.
Let me
No
rewind.
one, don't. No,
He just
no.
doesn't count.
Let's go.
This guy doesn't
No.
understand. This guy doesn't understand why this character exists.
All right.
Yeah, but I don't
Alex
understand-
Halo's like, I have been summoned.
Oh, what?
Yeah, but
No, that was
I don't
not.
even know what I'm looking at here.
All right. Let's continue. We got to get through this.
Tuck that up to infinity and beyond. We are first introduced to Iris via Plusha, her main self. Plusha seems nice at first, if a little ditzy. Oh, okay, a lot ditzy. Then she transforms into Iris and...
I went and
Wait a second. How does she grow those amazing features?
They all do that. Nep does that.
Yeah, but she
This
was
is
just
her
a.
goddess form.
Oh, they have.
This is her real form.
Oh, they transform. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought they just get
Yeah,
a
they
clothing
transform.
change.
They
Okay.
transform, and when they're not in their goddess forms, then they're little girls.
Okay.
You know, I like this guy that like he doesn't give like any introduction to these characters. So like us who have absolutely no idea about this video game, we are just so fucking clueless. So like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So that way we can't debate him.
What?
Anyway,
There's a lot of debating, but there's a master in front of it as well. So
massive plot to exposition here. Okay, yeah.
yeah. What am I looking at? Even just
Even
what is
the
on my phone right now? What am I looking at here?
even the narrator's like, I have no idea. 3 question marks. Who's talking? I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's go.
transform so I could save that ass of yours.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, you can probably imagine the kind of stuff that happens next. Now, this maybe could have worked if the targets of Iris's non-figurative sexual abuse were only the villains and this is their karmic punishment, though you'd probably have to heavily censor it, as well as make it unambiguous that this isn't good behavior. Instead, Iris is more than willing to molest her allies, including...
Okay, my darling little iffy. I'm sorry for the wait.
Rated. What is rated T?
Stop.
Teen.
For teen.
Teen.
Oh, but he's censoring it.
Teens are not allowed to think about boobs.
Oh, that's sad. Because that happens like every
I
day
know.
for teens.
Yeah, I just.
Happens every day for normal people.
I mean, not just
Yeah, well,
teens,
the
but
Neptunia games
It's
are
called,
full of
it's
these.
called the internet.
Yeah, the Neptunia games are full of these innuendo scenes, and most of it is jokes and
all right.
just you have these
So,
wacky characters. And Iris is not the weirdest one of the bunch.
does she molest anyone? though? Is that the question? That's what I want to know.
That's what she's doing here.
Okay.
And she's not the only one that they're teasing each other and
Yeah,
and
but-
all
but
of
here's the
that,
thing,
and then they're putting jokes, and it's just what the fuck.
Yeah, but if you're making
Yeah,
this
these
point,
games
I'm
are
not
not
going
to be
show the
taken
full
seriously.
image
The
for
Neptunia games-
obvious reasons. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, but how do I know she's doing something bad? You're not showing me anything.
Yeah, but Neptunia games are not to be taken seriously. The basic rundown is fantasy world that is called game industry, and it is basically you have 4 goddesses fighting each other, and they represent the different gaming consoles. So it's it's emulating the console war, and you have the
What?
the PS the PS2 goddess, that's the more normal looking one, that's Noir. The Xbox goddess is super stacked, and the Nintendo goddess is just a little girl that is always boob envious of everyone else because she's just flat.
What the?
All right.
So that's all you need to know about Neptunia games.
They personified the console war.
All right then.
With voice actors and T-rated PG-14 molestation scenes.
I mean, well done, but
are the girls assaulting girls, or how does this work? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, some tease each
I
other.
don't know. He's
have
not
crushes
showing
on each other.
anything.
It's the standard Japanese nonsense for ecchi stuff.
Okay, so there's no girls versus guys or anything like that.
Not that I remember, but so I haven't played all the games. But I doubt it.
So
this is just
girls
implied. It's implied Yuri.
Yeah, so it's just a bunch of girls on the same team getting frisky with each other and teasing each other.
Well, and of course, once in a while they battle each other because they have to figure out which is the best console.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not seeing a problem with this. All right. Okay. Oh, thanks, Alex Halo. Goddess form changes most of their personalities. She is calm normally, and she becomes a sadist when she transforms. All right, that's fine. If it's rated T,
Cool.
that's acceptable. I'm not concerned. All right, let's just see what he thinks.
Okay, guys, something you need to understand about media. Portrayal of something is not the same as condoning something. What the hell is wrong with you? So, at this point,
no
you're
question.
probably wondering what the other protagonists do about Iris's behavior. Well, they don't. Aside from one or two of them finger wagging, they are straight up complacent with her being a non-figurative child molester, making them borderline accomplices to a felony. I guess everyone just completely forgot that CFW trick in the previous game was portrayed as evil for doing the same thing, huh? Heck,
So Iris is the only one
keep playing the games despite disliking them so hard.
Yeah, so Iris is the only one who's doing this, or they're all doing this?
To be brutally honest with you, I'm looking at these characters and I'm not being able to tell them apart, to be honest with you. I'm just like, okay.
All of them have the same head.
All I know is people who play this are not playing this for the plot. They're not playing this for the plot.
They're mainly all the same story in some reiteration of each other in this is parallel dimension, what's a bagook, and then random character from other dimension from the game you played before turns up just to give you an item, then leaves again after saying hi and says, what the fuck just happened? Don't take these games seriously. They're just to have fun. They make fun of anime tropes.
Right. This is the problem.
They have some weird and some interest in some very weird and obscure battle systems and some things that are not explained. It's your perfect JRPG where the UI doesn't make sense. It's great.
Right. This is the problem with people not understanding genre or what the intention of the work is. Once you accept it, it's a slasher flick. That's why it's so dumb. Oh, I'm not supposed to take this seriously. That's the kind of understanding we want people to have when they analyze media and say, guys, yes, I understand it. There's all these tentacle monsters around. That's the point. Like, it's not supposed to be taken seriously. So these things have certain functions for the audience. They expect certain tropes to come in, and if you don't grasp that, you're missing the whole point. So in this case, it's a bunch of cute girls trying to see who's the best. So you have the big, beautiful, buxom girl, and she's a sadist, and she teases all the other girls because they're not as good as her, and that's the whole story. As far as
and Neptunia is mainly when she's not she's pressed into saving the world or something, but she's mainly obsessed with where does she get her next pudding. That's it.
That's it.
How can you take that too seriously?
Yeah,
for fuck's
exactly.
sake.
Okay, so we could skip this fellow. Alex Halo, it also parodies anime tropes, and there's no males or almost no males. Okay, yeah, fine. We know exactly what this is for.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oops.
I'm old enough now to know exactly what this game is. Yes. It's
Unless he shows us specific scenes where the dialogue and narration, are whatever to him, then we have no idea what he's talking about. So
Yeah.
if it's rated for teens, these guys are pretty strict. So I don't think there's anything that bad in them. Anyway, Alex Halo again. And Neptunia Games is basically how much you can get away with, and they are all written by a team of female otakus. See? They don't care.
I didn't know it was written only by females.
No.
That's amazing.
That's Japan. Japan doesn't care.
Yeah.
It's great.
Japan
It's fine.
don't give a shit.
It's
great. It's great.
This is a weird, I don't know. I mean, I like Japanese games like the next guy, but I would not see this as a problem. Unless it was like, I don't know, R-rated or X-rated, and you're selling it to teens, that would be a huge problem. But that would be nothing to do with characterization. That would just be the standards board screwed up on the label.
Yeah.
Mike Testa, you wonder why I think he's a hypocrite. This is enough for me, because he was poor explanation with Abby, and now he's attacking a teen-rated game like this, where it's a parody.
And that's his silver medal.
This is number 2, yeah.
This is number 2.
Yeah, of which he plays more games, and these games are long.
Well, he did play Fire Emblem, which is also a long series, so he obviously likes the Japanese RPG genre or category.
Well, most of his things have been almost like Japanese,
Devil May Cry
series,
inspired or made by Japanese. Yeah.
The Soul Calibur stuff is inspired. It's like
you can take
I won't say it's Japanese.
all kinds of characters in Western RPGs and European ones that are disliked as well. So
yeah,
there's so many characters throughout the years.
When was this video made? By the way, was it last year? Was it?
Yeah, in November.
Yeah, it seems.
There's a lot of characters.
It feels very. To me, it felt like we've skipped over. As in, because obviously we can't talk about it, that's fine. But it feels like too much of this list was skipped over, as in, like, these characters don't feel like they're hated in the mainstream. It's like people don't even know who these people are most of the time.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have Alex Hale to tell us the story.
We're quite a diverse. No, but we're quite a diverse group of people with our likes and dislikes with stuff. And the fact that we've had 2, and then this one as well, to the point where we can skip.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a bit like, that's 3 out of 10 so far that we have no idea who the hell this person is.
Yeah.
So it's not a very good list, to be brutally honest with you.
So far, like Other M, like that was a good reason, like the reason why Adam is a bad character, etc. But you get that just by experiencing the game without even thinking about it, or just listening to other people. Yeah. So this one, either he doesn't like these games, he's just listening to other people, and maybe he found a list elsewhere, or he found whatever message boards. Because this does not feel authentic to me. So anyway, let's keep going. Alex Halo, the first game has the girls being tricked by their evil mom into killing each other for destroying the world to have her revenge. That's okay. Interesting.
Don't think about it.
They just sound like they have a lot of fun.
I think so. Yeah.
But I can't say anything because I've not played them. But the fact of the matter is, we've had to wait for Alex Halo to pop into chat before we have any idea what the hell's going on. It's like,
we got one person who knows what's going on in these games. He's not even on the show.
All right, let's just finish this off.
Supposed to be a parody, and believe it or not, I love dark humor. If you're not trying to be malicious with it, it takes a lot for me to get offended by a joke. And I am the last person who would call for censorship. That said, I have 2 questions. 1, why? Why would you do this? 2, how are we supposed to find child molestation and trauma funny? As insane as this sounds, I think that Iris actually could have worked as a character.
I think he's overcompensating here.
I'm trying to grasp what he's arguing. He didn't show us anything. He's just saying, I don't like the character. And you're like, why? Tell us why. They molest children. You're like, where, when, how? Show us.
Well, I can't show you the molestation scene. Well, then I don't believe you. I don't believe it exists then.
getting a little
because
weird.
the blurred stuff out. It's like, it's like, oh yes, that's just wonderful. She didn't harm a defenseless child. I'm so pleased. So she didn't harm a defenseless child. The game just said it.
Yeah.
So
I'm getting this overcompensating, overprotective vibe that usually indicates that he's doing this for some other reason.
I just
I
think
don't know.
he found the list elsewhere, and he's just
yeah.
using that as inspiration to do his own thing.
Mm.
Anyway, let's keep going here. Alex Halo again. Plutia also what? Plutia us also a very protective of her adopted daughter named If. Her name is If.
Yeah, if it's named after the company.
Oh, is that Iffy?
Iffy,
Yeah.
yeah.
Iffy.
The studio is IF and exclamation mark.
That's so on the nose.
She's the yes.
All right.
Totally serious.
Parody, yeah. So much so that she ends up scaring her, and she lewds them others less after that. Okay. So she has a moment where she chooses not to be as lewd as possible. Okay, thank you. All right, Alex Halo, CPUs have no age. They look the same when born. Oh.
Yeah, CPUs are the girls.
Okay.
Oh.
Apparently, Josh made an apology in the comments about the Neptunia scene. Oh, God. So
Why?
he apologizes for everything here? Like, afterwards?
But there's nothing for us to look at. We don't know what his argument is. Anyway, it's fine. We don't care. We really don't care. This is like, I have no idea. Okay, Francis Bortocopla. The most complex anime character is Joe Biden from Jeffrey Epstein's Island.
Oh God!
Thanks, Francis. That's great.
That's not a dating sim.
No.
No. No, that's Bill Clinton's summer holiday. That's the DLC. It's
isn't that a prequel?
It's the interquel.
The intermission.
Oh dear. Wow, he's really gone on about this one.
All right, here we go. Finally, last one. Here we go.
Iris gets no comeuppance whatsoever for her horrific actions throughout the story. Heck, Plutia's reaction is rarely more than a "Did I do that?"
Yeah, that's the joke.
Oh, honorable mentions. Let's have a look at it.
Ashley Graham,
boy.
Resident Evil 4.
It's like-
Everything wrong about escort missions
Yes.
with a shrill tone.
Help me, Leon!
Oh yeah.
Rosa
Agreed.
Ushiromiya.
That she is really annoying. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's really annoying.
Yeah.
No,
Are
I
you
agree with
seriously
him,
naming characters from Higurashi no Naku Koroni?
yeah,
Are you fucking serious? Everyone there is insane and evil. Everyone.
but that's
Maybe
now,
not
what
the
is it,
main
three-
character, but that
So
depends on
that's
the story.
three out of his. So three out of his actual list are definitely like Japanese series, and then the next two had been Resident Evil and this one, which are two Japanese series. It's like, okay, we get it. You like Japanese video games.
Well, these are honorable mentions, so they're just enough to get on the list, but not serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
if you
what I'm
want to
saying
give
is-
yourself
what I'm saying is
nightmares,
it's
then this is the series for you.
Yeah, this is where
Oh yeah, but
he doesn't accept the genre for what it is, and he's like, "Oh, this is problematic. For me. I don't like this. This is bad." Like, well, whatever.
yeah, but I'm saying it just I feel like this guy just plays Japanese games and moans about. I think he doesn't like the fact he just plays them because there's way too many to be on this list. So,
That's fine. It doesn't matter. Whatever his experience.
the list isn't diverse enough.
Oh, sorry,
The
Hawk.
list
Okay.
isn't diverse enough. That's it. That's the diversity on this list has been
He
terrible.
needs some Black Isle or Interplay games to balance it out. Yeah, Minsk is a bad character because he's
Well, it
crazy.
needs- but it needs something a bit different than this teenage schoolgirl. Yeah, and this teenage school. Well, okay, that's great. And this. Hang on a second. We've gone through this character 3 times now. What's going just?
You know, it is totally natural to dislike a series of teenage schoolgirls throughout all the genres.
Yeah.
We have Chloe.
Yeah.
We've got Neptunia,
Well,
I think. I don't know. It
Chloe,
happens.
Neptunia, the Fire Emblem. I didn't even pay attention to what that was. Soul Calibur, that might have been a bloke. I don't know.
That was a guy.
It was
yeah.
a guy.
cares?
Yeah.
It was I don't care. It's Soul Calibur, no one cares.
Anyway, let's just get through this.
Yeah, physically and emotionally abusive parent whom you're supposed to feel bad for.
Oh god, I actually remember this series. Oh.
Fortunately, she gets what she deserves, repeatedly. Moodset, Teleshilia, was your ally, turns out to be an evil spirit, was supposed to be redeemed, but never really seems to learn her lesson. I do feel a little bad due to her codependency issues, though. Alphys from Undertale. I don't hate her, but I can see why she has a bit of a hate-dom, as her actions aren't quite kosher, she's a little manipulative, and her interruptions can get really annoying.
It's because
Javier,
she's super
That's-
insecure.
That was a weird thing. I mean, all the characters and experiences in that game is supposed to shock you and make you double think about RPGs as a genre.
Yeah, and every character has a different side from the one that you see, that you encounter firsthand.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I think maybe everyone but Papyrus.
Right. You feel sorry for Papyrus. Yeah.
Have you guys seen ever walking in a new frontier? Well, it's something different.
Hawk is like, oh, finally a Western game.
Here we go.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's like it's finally not some weeb crap. No offense to all you weebs out there,
Or people who like
it was
Undertale.
getting a bit like.
Anyway, Alex Halo, CPUs are born from faith of the people and to lead a newly created nation.
Fate again.
Or people become one of the special stone one from a special stone. They died when they have no faith. Okay. Thank you.
Alexander has a very specific set of
That was
knowledge.
very nice.
That's just.
I have a very special set of skills.
None of which can actually help in any situation, apart from probably.
People die if they are killed.
Yes.
Okay,
I'll
thank you,
never
Alex.
find you.
Always nice to be informed about what you like. It's always good. Joe Crazy.
Yeah.
Here we go. Wisp might have a point. A year or two back, his buddy from his D&D session was ousted for grooming a minor and forced him to turn himself in, not defending his dumb take, but that might explain it.
Interesting.
Oh.
That is...
Might make him a bit hypersensitive to that.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's a...
But we're talking about fiction and anime gaming. It's kind of... Like, come on, dude. Grow
When
up.
people get hypersensitive, they tend to sometimes not make the differentiation between fiction and reality, and between a crude joke and an actual attack, for example.
There's so much innuendo in a lot of anime and manga. It's almost no longer a trope. It's just there. There's always going to be the sexy woman seducing or teasing the little girls or the friends she has because she's so sexy and she's confident, she knows it. It's...
Yeah, that's... I mean, more it's like people who got bullied a lot, they can develop in different ways in how they deal with that. And one of them can be that they get hypersensitive to people saying mean things or arguing in some fashion or just doing banter, and just perceive that always as attacks against each other.
yeah, I get that, but...
and the same can happen with a sexual joke.
I know, but if you are a fan or a gamer of JRPG or manga or anime, you have seen so many tropes. And it's, there are some Studio Ghibli things that aren't like that. There are some more shonen manga that are, but you must have seen something like this done several times before, somewhere. So to argue
I'm
about
not
it
even a
now
fan of that genre, but even I've seen it, so...
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, Neptunia is not necessarily something you stumble that easily upon.
In my case...
It's relatively known, but it's still a niche thing. So
in my case, I heard of it, but I never experienced it. But even then, looking at that would be like every other Japanese anime, handheld gaming or whatever. That's whatever style you like. It's gonna.
Honestly, I only know of it because of Smudcast, because of Alex Halo.
That's true.
I even knew about it. It was like
he does pop in with those Neptunia references every so often, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
It's like the was it the was it the meme where it's like when you see Neptunia, you're like, I've seen this one. It's,
even Xenoblade makes some jokes in that vein, and it's for 12 and up.
Okay. Anyway, let's soldier on. We got some other games going on here. Let's see what this is all about.
Hey, from Walking Dead: New Frontier. Trying to take Leon Clementine's place as the main protagonist was bad enough, but his whole family drama is really hard to get invested in. And fooling around with your brother's wife behind his back? Not kosher, Yavi, even if he is a jerk.
Okay, so that was an argument against Clementine? That because of what he did to his brother's wife, even though he was a jerk, that's honorable? How can you... I don't get it. I don't get that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't...
Anyway, here's number one.
Dragon Age, home to a vast ensemble of characters that are loved and hated by many. Obviously, we got characters that are almost universally loved, like Alistair, Varric, and the Iron Bull. But then we have those characters that are much more divisive. Morrigan is an insufferable narcissist and pragmatic to a fault.
Shut the fuck up!
Alex,
What you all waited for?
Hold me fucking back.
All right.
She's not on the list, but you wash your fucking mouth out, you fucking piece of shit.
Okay, this is why
Morgan's my girl. I won't hear anything bad against her.
Okay, Alex Halo, calm down.
God damn it. Oh,
she's not number one, Hawk. All right, she's fine.
I know, but he said something bad about it. I ain't having that shit.
All right, calm down.
I'll throw down.
All right, here's Joe Crazy. It was a real cluster, especially since the guy who was ousted was a fairly popular brony cartoon YouTuber. I am unaware of all this drama. I don't know what he went through. So, but thank you for the information.
Yeah,
Joe.
I don't care anymore. He's dissed my girl. He can. I don't care.
Now the question is, was he wrong in saying she was narcissist? Let me just rewind it.
You said narcissistic.
Like Alistair, Varric, and the Iron Bull. But then we have those characters that are much more divisive. Morrigan is an insufferable narcissist and pragmatic to a fault, but damn!
I would say pragmatic to a fault is pretty accurate. I don't know about the narcissism.
Yeah. When she literally begs to give up her own freedom for Kieran, that's not what a narcissist would do.
Well, yeah, but we're talking about
relationship.
Origins. Obviously, this is Inquisition, right? Yeah. No, she grew up a lot in Inquisition. Yeah.
Yeah, but even in Origins, she's
cautious.
At the end of the day, she's cautious, but this is her first time interacting with the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Outside the
she's very smart.
Wild.
She's very pragmatic. That's true. I would agree. So she's always like, do this, don't do that. This is dumb. Don't do she's very like matter of factly.
She's not insufferable.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Yeah,
she's like the evilish thing. Also, the relationship between, which is why I like it so much, between her and the warden, is like you really break down that wall, and it's a really good relationship. It's my favorite of all the BioWare relationships. I always end up doing it. I just end up going with Morrigan all the time.
Yeah, she's immediately respecting of the warden because she sees them as this person who's actually far more competent than the average person they come across.
Yeah.
So she immediately respects you and goes along with your quest. Anyway, not number one. We're good.
And at the end of Yeah, but it's alright. By the end of Witch Hunt, when you can decide to go with her, she's like really happy and really like giddy, and like it's a nice ending. But yeah, she's not number one, so that's okay. Oh,
all right, let's go.
If she isn't well written. And while I personally hate Solus and his holier-than-thou attitude, I am willing to admit he's a great source of world building, and the DLC catapults him to become amazing.
Okay, all right, so everyone knows what happens with Solus. This is what I refer to as an ass pull.
Oh, no.
It just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It contradicts the ending, which I don't know what the point with that was for, because once you pass Inquisition, it's like, oh, Solus, where'd you go? You're like, what?
Yeah.
And then they had to finish the story with the DLC. It's like, thanks, BioWare, for actually doing your job later.
Yeah.
So there's no build up to Solus.
I'm sure Solus will mean absolutely nothing in the next game. After all this build up, it will be absolutely nothing.
Kind of like the bridge. What is it? The bridging DLC for Mass Effect 2, Arrival.
Yeah, Arrival.
Just we needed a character, blow up the planet. Yeah, that's it. The planet's gone. No one cares.
Yeah. But I feel like Solus is going to be like the Mage Templar War. So
it's the same thing all over again. Yeah. Elves and humans or whatever.
Yeah.
Then there's Anders. Let's see how this whole process goes. Anders is a mage who has been evading the Circle of Magi and the Templars for a while now, and wishes to fight for his fellow mages for equality and freedom.
Okay, so we have to compare...
Oh, so we're talking about Dragon Age 2 Anders then, are we?
Right, because in the DLC, a little different.
In
a lot
Awakening,
different.
Yeah, in Awakening, completely different.
Yeah, so this is the power of time skip, I guess. Things just happen to characters, and we were like, how did you become this fellow?
To be honest with you, it doesn't really make sense, because by the time you meet Anders in Dragon Age 2, he should still be in Amaranthine with the Grey Warden, fighting in Awakening.
Right.
The timing, it's very muddled. But also, Anders has also got justice in him at this point. So he's actually an abomination. So he's going crazy. Which is what happens to all people who become abominations and become crazy.
Right, and that was during the events of Awakening that he meets the...
just after they merge with each other, yeah.
So the assumption is, as a result of that merging, after the fact, his personality starts to change.
Yeah, because what happens is justice changes into vengeance. Because of what the Templars are doing to the mages.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, we got a whole freedom fighter thing going here. I like that. Believes in the maker and acknowledges their creation of mages, and points out that the chantry was made by man and is therefore flawed. Ooh, we got the faith versus religion thing going here. That's good. Is a super powerful spellcaster. Awesome. Always love a good sorcerer to blow my enemies into oblivion. Is a complete snark when off the battlefield, works as a medic for the impoverished, and has a soft spot for cats. Wow, they're just ticking all the boxes with this guy. Gets possessed by a demon, becomes a total dick as a result, which eventually leads into blowing up the chantry and killing hundreds of people while starting World War D&D.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, they had everything set up to make Anders one of the greatest and most likable characters to come out of Dragon Age, and then the writers completely dropped the ball with him. Sure, he was possessed by justice, and that eventually causes vengeance to manifest, but Anders makes it clear at the end of the Last Straw mission that he knew what he was doing and went through with it anyway. To hell with the consequences. What makes this so frustrating is that there is no way to prevent this, and there's almost no build up to it. It doesn't matter how well you get along with Anders throughout the story. It doesn't matter whether you sided with the mages or the Templars. It doesn't matter how much you investigate the matter regarding Anders' injustice.
Yeah, this is what I actually believe I argued in my analysis.
Yeah.
It does, like, this is a plot. We have to have this thing happen, even though there's a quest line to figure this out. And
yeah, it's literally called justice.
Yeah, and it's just, it goes nowhere, and you're like, this is not the proper way to cover your tracks.
Well, because you can actually figure out what his plan is if you ask the the right questions. So Hawk can know that he plans to blow up the Chantry.
Right. It seems as if all these things are in place to do something that would change the plot or give a choice. And that's the kind of thing we like in BioWare games. This would have been an amazing opportunity to...
This guy sounds like... So I haven't played this Dragon Age 2. And but this sounds like a trope that maybe has a name, but I am pretty sure it is a trope because I've seen the pattern before. That is, you have amazing guy that is overly powerful, can do everything, is very likable, and then in the end turns out to be some sort of villain for some reason after all, that he was tricking you all the time. Xenoblade 1 has that with Dixon.
See, the thing with Anders, though, is he does come across as incredibly whiny as well.
That doesn't sound likable.
He's a bit more clever.
Look, another page of Anders' manifesto.
Yeah,
look.
This is like the first version of Solus. Like, you think of Solus in Inquisition and what they did to him. Anders did it first. Like, he was just coming out of nowhere, aside from the quest, coming out of nowhere and blowing up the Chantry. And you're like, dude, we went through this. We set this up. We actually helped you build the bomb. We didn't even know it. Like, it's all this stuff that lends itself to either preventing this from happening or not even bothering with it. And it still like, that's the thing. It still happens. Like, he needs your, I really need your help for something, yada, yada, yada. And you go through this whole quest line. If it wasn't for you, this wouldn't have happened. You don't even have to do this quest line. It will still happen.
Yeah, it's optional.
Yeah, so they really screwed up the whole storytelling in this element.
Because what happens is you do the first part of it, and then he goes, "I need you to talk to Cleric Athena." Cleric Athena, I think it is the name, and distract her in the Chantry, and you can say, "No, I'm not doing it until you tell me." And he literally tells you, "I'm planning on destroying the Chantry to start a war," and it's like, so you can decide to help him or not help him. But he still puts a bomb in there anyway. At that point, in fact, you can even tell Clerk Athena that he's actually planning to destroy the Chantry right in front of it, right there. But it still happens. So yeah, there is a problem at the end in the Dragon Age 2. Yeah,
it's a lost attempt at using the game mechanics, the quest system, the friend rivalry system, dialogue, even the romance options, whatever, to influence the outcome, and they just don't let it happen. It must always happen.
Because, what is it? Yeah, because if you go full rivalry with him, there's a bit where he goes like, "I'm going to stop. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to actually stop," and then Vengeance takes over and decides to do it anyway. So it's set in stone that it's going to happen.
I think they talk about having blank spots in his memory where he can't recall like this and that. That's somewhat of a thing you could rely on, but at the same time, he should be aware of this. He should be like, "Oh, this is not good. Something's wrong with me. I got to be like tied up or something."
Well, he doesn't remember. Well, there's a scene, I think it's either in Act 2, where they say, I think it was the Tranquil Solution quest with Sir Ulrich, and they kill Sir Ulrich and save a mage, but Vengeance takes over and nearly kills this young girl. Hawk steps in to stop her, but Anders doesn't remember doing it, but he remembers the fact that when he comes to, the woman runs away, and it's like, so he knows he must have done something bad, and he starts to panic about it. That's the only time it's ever been shown that he doesn't have, he gets his memory, he can't remember doing stuff. But if you go down the rivalry, he starts talking to you about saying, like, I can't remember doing certain things, and Vengeance is getting worse, and the blackouts are more and more. So
I think they wanted this to be the impetus for the setup for Dragon Age Inquisition, that the Chantry is beginning to get weak. So you have to have a catastrophic event but then you look at Inquisition, it just starts off, boom, we blow up the the Chantry again. You're like, okay.
We blew up Haven. Anyway, the whole war thing we've been talking about, it's over. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's just redundant. Cool. It's just like, guys, can you actually, if you're gonna hard code the fact that Chantry blows up in Kirkwall, why are you blowing up another Chantry of the Vatican or whatever? It's like, what? Like, stop it. Focus on one thing.
Why you? But Haven's got the urn of sacred ashes as well. There's you've blown up the tomb of Jesus, and you're like, okay, cool.
That was, and believe it or not, that was the most dramatic part of the whole game, was losing Haven. And you just go from rags to riches within 2 seconds. You're like, oh, lost everything. Wow, look at this giant castle in the sky, in a mountain. It's perfect. No one wants it. It's like, well, let's take it. I'm like, okay. So there's these series of problems we see that originated from this choice in Dragon Age, or lack of choice in Dragon Age 2, which they planned out this way. They figured this out. This is what they wanted to do. And it's the same pattern from Dragon Age 2 to Inquisition, with Anders being very similar to Solus, to the destruction of Haven, to the destruction of the main Chantry, and the loss of Elfina. And it's just like, it's the same. Inquisition is so uninspired.
Because it's Because it's Grand Clerk Athena dies in Dragon Age 2, and it's Divine Justinia who dies in Dragon Age Inquisition. It's like, okay, cool, excellent.
It's like, wow, it's the same thing over again, just the step up. And you're like, if it was like I don't know, some sort of rebel movement or this or that, but no, it's just this random stupid plot by Solus. Oh God. Anyway,
who decided to bring Corypheus into it?
I don't even. That is the I thought 2 was bad, but Inquisition's like, oh my God. Anyway.
The Chantry will get blown up. Hundreds of people will die. And Anders will be at the center of it all, and he knows it. That doesn't make him sympathetic. It makes him freaking hypocritical. It's even worse because there's so much potential here for Anders to be a compelling and wonderful character. In fact, you want Anders done well? Look at Lelouch from Code Geass. You're supposed to be on the fence about whether you like him or not, his actions are justified. And the equivalent of the Chantry burning moment, it was an accident. So maybe we can look at that as a template to improve.
That was a really dumb accident.
That was
let's not even talk about it.
That is that is the worst part of the entire anime. You're just sitting there going, they did what now?
Okay, so basically, Hawk, what happens is like this guy, this anime character who looks absolutely gorgeous for you. I don't care. So he has the power that he can look at anyone and he can say an order to them and they will follow it. So what happens is that he gets cornered to a room and there's some kind of princess or something, and by accident he's playing around hey, I can just look at people and just tell them what to do, and they're gonna do it and execute the order. And what happens is that he looks at the girl and she commits pretty much genocide against the Japanese because there was originally a joke that this character said, and she just does it, and she doesn't stop because there's no stop. These characters, it's even a character that is the second main character, and it's on the opposite of the branch, and he tells an order to don't die, and the character becomes pretty much fucking invincible because somehow the character can't escape fate itself.
Yeah, the whole point of that really scene dumb. Is the two warring factions have a peace. They just agree on a peace, and Lelouch is it would be kind of funny. I could just tell you to go shoot everyone in this room as a joke, and he's just this thing he just says to himself, not realizing he's looking at the girl and using his power at the same time. Like, it's so dumb. And then she just picks up an Uzi and just starts spraying the room.
Yes.
And you're like, what the... And you're like, he just... Like, what?
And then, like, a cut to the King of Britannia, and then, like, everything going according to plan.
It was so dumb. And that was the worst part of the whole series. And after that, you sort of like question, is this even worth watching anymore? So, but that's different than this. That's a bit different than this.
This was it. At this point in the game with like Anders and everything. I mean, the reason he does it is because it's what's it called? A Batman gambit or something? Is that what the trope's called? Because he knows, because what he wants to do is he wants to get Meredith to invoke the right of annulment against the Kirkwall Mages for something that an apostate did. So that's what his plan is, to instigate the civil war and everything. So.
Do you mean Xanatos Gambit?
Well, a Batman Gambit specific in that Batman knows the what someone is going to do because he knows them so well. So he has these series of...
He knows that Meredith wants the right of annulment,
of backup plans,
Xanatos Gambit is the saying after the fact that, haha, everything worked according to my plan.
Xanatos Gambits are so ridiculous, it's kind of hard to believe, but...
But with Anders' plan is, I want to start a war between the Mages and the Templars.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll blow up the Chantry, because that will make Meredith want to do the right of annulment, and the Mages have got two choices. Either they can fight, and maybe live, or they'll just die.
Well, at that point in the story, Meredith's already being influenced by the relic, so she doesn't even care, probably.
Yeah.
Any excuse is a good excuse. So.
But Anders knows that. That's what it means.
Yeah.
And so he knows that whatever he's using Kirkwall as like sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
So that other circles rebel, because he knows they will. Because after they see what happens, they'll say that the Templars are just going nuts and everything.
Right.
So.
All right. Oh God, I can remember this horrible scenario. Anyway, Dollface, thank you. Hey, that moment is you're trying to make it look like I think Coolsville sucks moment in Code Geass. Oh God, it was because the problem is at that point in Code Geass, the story's done. Peace has been achieved. You're like, oh great, and then all of a sudden, the next minute after, wouldn't it be funny if you just like turned around and you started shooting everyone? Oh shit, yeah, that was so stupid. Anyway, John Doe, the average Joe, just wondering, how would you arrange the choices on his list, ignoring ones you don't know? Of course, I feel some of these characters should be higher removed on what they did in their game story. Thank you, John Doe, the average Joe, for using Streamlabs. Very good of you. You know what? His list is okay. There's a few exceptions, of course, especially the one with the Neptunia. But other than that, Anders is a good choice. I think that's fairly well done. Abby is up there.
I find Anders is good, but not for the reason he's given. So
Chloe should have been higher on the list, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably. With what's been said about it.
But I would argue Chloe was supposed to be unlikable. That's kind of.
I would have expected a character like Loki from Bayonetta 2, which is supposed to be the guy you're supposed to help and protect. But he's written in just a cringy, annoying way. It's not that he's bad or anything. It's just that the type of character trope they went with is just people I've spoken with that played the game said, no, that is just annoying. It's just that character exists is annoying.
I would go with Naomi from Metal Gear Solid. At least Metal Gear Solid 4. That was just stupid. Like it just.
That was really dumb.
That was just, you sat there and you're like, why is she doing this? Like she just said all these other things. She has a relationship with Otacon and all these, and then she just gives up and just joins the other side. You're like, why? There's no explanation.
No, absolutely no explanation. Like it's just for drama and for Otacon to be pushed even further.
Yeah, they have a crying scene, and it's just like, what the.
And then like I think like in some other game you get like an info that now he's like a ladies' man.
Really?
I think in Metal Gear Revengeance, like you can get like a small info about Snake and Otacon, like where are they in life.
Oh, really?
Oh my god! I forgot we talked about Metal Gear Solid. Oh my god! I just.
What day is it tomorrow, Jack? Do you remember?
I tell you something. I think I've drunk a little bit too much because my mind's actually going today.
I will make America great again.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's go back to the list.
Yeah.
I would put Solus on the list just because it's another ass pull.
Yes.
It's so dumb. It's just there was no need for that. I mean, the story itself was shit, but to pull that out was just it comes out of nowhere, just like with Naomi. You just like, why? Like, what? That's dumb. What else? You know, you have to really like remember really bad scenes in games that you really hate. And
you kind of forget these characters and stuff. It's like,
Don't like an example from Deus Ex, like one of the games, but I just can't recall.
Yeah,
lot of really dumb decisions.
I think the whole elusive man in Mass Effect 3 was pretty stupid just because it's so contrived. It built it up, but still it's like having supernatural powers that aren't part of lore.
I don't have a clue what he had, to be honest.
Purple powers. I don't know what they were. Purple magical powers.
Just purple. That was it. They were just purple powers.
Bisexual light powers.
Bisexual gas purple powers.
Bisexual. I just. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to think. It's just been. I try and stay away from bad video games, to be honest, with bad characters. I try and.
Yeah, people are talking about Andromeda. I'm like, dude, don't even bother. Like so many characters.
Nobody was even likable in that.
Games that shouldn't have been made because they're so bad.
Yeah.
That they retroactively shouldn't have been made. They're not relevant to counting these lists.
Can you imagine talking about Anthem's characters for any extent? Like rationally.
They have characters?
What? What game?
Limp guy who wants to write a mech but can't, and he does anyway. Oh, what a story. Like, I don't care about guy from Mexico with a limp.
BioWare certainly didn't.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Voice acting was their problems.
It's late, but if to end on a nicer note, we want to watch the first minute of Matthew's review of Death Stranding.
No, we're almost
done.
It would
cheer you up.
No. We're almost done here. No.
Okay.
Let's just finish off. Call it a day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But it's really good.
Friendship or rivalry with Anders, or complete a side quest, or maybe complete a mission that actually gets Meredith and Orsino to come to some sort of truce. I don't know. Whatever the case, your actions could cause Anders to get cold feet at the last second. Then, vengeance takes over and forces him to go through with it. The big thing here, there's no I did what I had to do from Anders, as his actions are far too disproportionately extreme to be justifiable or keep him sympathetic. Have Anders realize that because he fused with justice, corrupting him to become vengeance, he's probably too much of a danger to others. While not possessed by a demon exactly, he has caused the same amount of suffering. just with a different motivation. This has to be the critical moment where Anders realizes he's become the embodiment of everything the Templars fear mages could be. People like him are the reason why Templars are so cruel and smothering to mages. This realization should break him. Maybe he asks you to end it. Maybe if you're in a rivalry with him and siding with the Templars in the story, he may utter something along the lines of, "You were right all along." To summarize, in trying to stop the Templars from being paranoid and authoritarian, Anders became their biggest justification to be so. It would be kind of okay if that were addressed in the story, but it wasn't. And that's what makes him so loathsome and infuriating. Take notes, writers. You can spend an entire game making a character likable, but if you're not careful, it can all be ruined by one single moment. I wanted to like Anders.
Well,
I really did, but now I just can't.
I'm the fiery Joker, and... Just realized that maybe this is why I don't like playing as Shulk.
What?
Cut!
Who's Shulk?
Alright, but I get bloody Shulk. But
Shulk is
everything he just said then literally happens in that last scene with Anders when he sat down talking.
Shulk is the main character in Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
Oh, okay.
It's great that he just like dropped the name, but like not that like any
no explanation.
Why?
And in the West, Chronicles 1 was made more famous by Smash Brothers because it had Shulk in it, and people wondered, "Oh, where's this character from?" So they looked up the game and they got a little bit more traction. Well, it's not the most well known, even though we now have Chronicles 2, which had an impact. But off topic.
That final rant there was a bit.
Yeah, well.
It was wrong. It was completely wrong. Anyone who's ever played the game would know it was what he just said was wrong. But hey ho. I don't care. The
list was actually pretty good. The reasoning behind some of the options weren't the best, but
well, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
I think he did a pretty decent job. I didn't know most of those. I know I've heard of them. I haven't played them all, so I can't say I knew all the games. But I'm glad you guys knew a little bit more. We're glad we have Alex Halo on that one topic. That's always great. And the joys and pains of the BioWare world is always around the gaming.
It sort of told me that I'd have bloody Dragon Age 2 at the end, and I'd be like, "Oh God, Anders. Well, let's see how bad this is." You're not going to talk about anything that Anders does wrong in the entire story. Okay, apart from the one thing where it's actually part of his character. Cool. Yeah, it doesn't make sense plot-wise that Hawk can't do anything.
Yeah.
But for Anders, it's built up to that way.
It's kind of like they're trying to protect themselves from arguing, why didn't you have a side story to investigate this weird thing happening in the Chantry? And they did. And you get to learn about Anders in that regard, but nothing comes of it. It's kind of like, oh, we tried to do that and nothing happened. See, it's like, yeah, but it's a role-playing game. Wouldn't you be able to like change stuff? Can't you at least do that? There's plenty of enough conflict that you don't need to blow up the Chantry to cause the Mage Wars or the Mage War with the Templars to happen. Like there's lots of other events you could have done. So the plot could have still been linear at that regard. And considering the way that they treated Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition was almost pointless. So it wouldn't have bothered the import.
You even had a bloody even the bloody Nightmare Demon in Dragon Age Inquisition get a hook. Do you think you mattered? Do you think anything you did mattered?
Yeah.
It's like that's a great jab at Dragon Age 2 not mattering.
Yeah, I think they're playing off the Mass Effect hoopla that you can import your save, and it's like, yeah, but it's not Mass Effect, guys. It's Dragon Age. It's just stuff you did.
Well, Well, the thing was originally for Dragon Age Inquisition, it was going to be Hawk, so there was going to be a proper continuation.
You would have think, yeah.
But because of the reception of it, they went, well, we'll just obviously what we'll do is we'll just keep making a new hero every single game because that's what people want. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that's understandable though. That's because people were expecting their RPG customization from the first game. And that was the one selling point of the game. You get to play as a female Canary mage or whatever, which doesn't make any sense from Dragon Age 2, but you know.
No.
They stretched that lore as far as it can go, and then they retcon some of it just to fit it in there. So,
yeah,
yay! BioWare, just write whatever the hell you want. Who cares? Anyway, guys, that was fun. I like
Dragon
this video.
Age Cyberpunk coming out soon.
I didn't tell you guys. I did buy a computer. I think it's coming with Cyberpunk. So, but
boy.
It was free, so I came with it. So I didn't buy the game.
It was free.
Yeah.
It was free. Yay!
It's kind of like Wii Sports of the day.
They can't get rid of them. Yeah, they got to give them away. I don't know. Anyway, guys, that was I liked this video. I enjoyed this one. This was fun to talk about, and I'm glad we got to switch it up now and again, as opposed to watching horrible videos that drive us nuts. So now we only have Hawk go nuts. That's good for me. So
yes,
all right.
It's all right.
Yeah, we're good. Okay. Thanks, guys, for the suggestion. Always appreciate your time. Wisp, thanks for popping in and sharing your wonderful knowledge of Neptunia, even though Alex Halo was there to help as well. So
yeah, my knowledge on that is limited too. I only have played 2 games of that, and there are 5 million of them.
Wow.
It's hype, and they all have insanely unnecessarily long titles like Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 2.
Whoa.
I'm sure Alex,
which is a remake.
All of them.
I think.
Sounds like a Capcom title.
And then you have Mega Dimension Neptunia something, and it just goes on and on.
Street Fighter 2.
All right. Okay.
It's great.
All right, guys. Thank you. Keep the suggestions coming. That was pretty good. If you guys have suggestions for Smut Talks, also put those in. We're listening to everything. I'm talking to other people who want to do Smut Talks as well. We might be planning that out, so don't worry. We'll get to you with your stuff eventually. It just takes some time. We only can do one a day because we have lives, even though we're stuck inside. We still have stuff to do. So thanks a lot. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have yourself a great evening. Bye-bye now.